She already talked to the bank.
Oh, no, I haven't. I looked online, and what do you do if your bank...
Can I ask you this, Joan?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Is only one of them counterfeit?
The others all look more
I'm not
real
asking
than
that.
others.
Did
I
you,
was going to take them all
how
back to
did
the
you
bank.
know that one was counterfeit?
Because the grocery store wouldn't take it. And when I look at it more closely, the paper is very thin, and a couple of the colors are slightly different.
What bank gave it to you?
It used to be Public Service Credit Union. They call themselves Canvas now.
And when you went there, it was called Canvas?
Yeah, it's Canvas Bank
Okay,
now.
so you go to Canvas, you cash a check or draw out money, and you get one of the bills counterfeit.
Yeah, yeah.
But
I'm a senior. I have all my money
I know.
in the bank. You know?
So why won't they believe you?
I haven't talked to them yet.
Well, I think that's the first step. Call them, Joan, and say, look, here's the cash exactly as I got it. Do you have all of it, Joan, or do you just have that one?
No, I have a whole
Right.
stack of hundreds they gave me.
I'd go back and say, here, I'm having a problem. Please check these bills. One of them was said to be counterfeit. I want to know if you can tell. And if not, then just hotel employee. Or you have something in your car. You go to get it serviced. It's missing. They say, we didn't do it. What do you do in a case like that? I mean, is the customer always right?
The interesting one about that ring, though, is she did have insurance and it lapsed. You would think if she was trying to okey doke somebody, she wouldn't have let the insurance lapse. She would have simply reported it missing.
That's just the opposite, I think, Mark. If you had insurance lapse after you lost it, let's say she lost it somewhere before going to that hotel.
No, I was alluding to the fact that maybe she stole it, but that doesn't make any sense because if you were, in other words,
you mean that she staged it?
Yeah, that she staged it, but because the insurance lapsed, I don't find that probable.
No, you're right. Let me give you this scenario. She loses her ring somehow weeks earlier. She says, oh, my God, Jim, we never renewed the policy. It lapsed. Now we can't get a replacement ring, you doon-doon. And then she calls her homeowners, and the homeowner says, I'm sorry, it wasn't scheduled. You only get $1,200. So now they're on vacation. And she says, Jim, I have an idea. Let's report the ring stolen.
Or let's go ahead and pay and redo the insurance.
But she didn't. She said this thing was stolen. But here is the one thing that adds credibility to her story. She said the safe was opened, and I think she did that if she staged it to make it look like an inside job. And they keep saying, well, you didn't keep it in the safe, therefore we're not covering it. Kind of hinting that if it was in the safe, they'd feel more responsibility. And that safe, by the way, has records of opening and closing. So you can't so that would be pretty straightforward. If she closed it, they went out, they could find her credit card or room card used somewhere else, and during that time, safe's open. That kind of thing can be done, right? But here's what adds credibility to her story. She admitted it was not in the safe, yet the safe was open, but nothing was taken. You would think that if she wanted to get money for that ring, she would have said it was in the safe. Who would have known? Anyway, that's a puzzlement. Now, we're going to learn all about cryptocurrency. We're also going to answer your questions like, what happens when a drug test shows positive? And it's not. I think Heather has a problem. We'll talk about it.
This report is sponsored by...
Thank you. Just give me the slug on it.
It's that pod didn't show up.
Pod? Okay, got it.
I got it.
We'll take care of it, bro. K&H. I did preload these because I got talking. That's what happened.
Good news is no other stalls or accidents being reported on the highways across town. Getting word of a crash off highway just west of Colfax and Calumet. Watch out for some delays there. The weather forecast. There'll be a chance of scattered afternoon thunderstorms today. Be careful out there. A high near 88. Right now, mostly cloudy and 76. With your traffic and weather, I'm Pete Wagner. 630 K-How. Hi, I'm Johnny Bench for Blue Emu.
Johnny Bench, get the fuck
And
out
who
of
the
here.
hell, why would you use, oh wait, I know why. Because the
it's
people
old
sore,
shit.
no, because the people sore in pain will probably remember him.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Works fast and won't stink.
They remember his
Okay,
name.
K&H Home Solutions, that's the name of the company for windows, siding, doors, and more, including roofing and gutters, and they have a special now on the Everlast siding product. I want to say, apart from this special, apart from K&H, the Everlast siding is the best made. The best. The best, Jerry. Anyway, you can buy this siding now for a 40% discount off of retail, and that's a real deal. Let's put it this way. They normally discount anyway, but a 40% discount off of retail is the lowest price they've ever had, and they even have financing available. Durable, energy efficient, beautiful. 303-421-7100. A lifetime of durability in a palette of colors. Now that 421-7100 is for information. They'd rather you make your own appointment, no obligation, at khwindows.com. khwindows.com. The best, Jerry. The best. I wonder if that's too obscure. Is it, Pearson? You're a young man. Is it too obscure?
No, I listened to Seinfeld growing up. So, or watched it a lot.
How old are you? You're
31.
misleading.
31.
That's
Oh,
okay.
he
That's
looks
not
way
misleading.
No,
No.
he looks way fucking younger. What do
Yeah,
you
he
know?
does.
No, I think he looks 30.
No, absolutely
He's got a
not.
baby face, but he looks 30.
No way.
How old does this guy look?
Okay,
Honestly.
do you think
Both
this guy
of you,
looks
how
30?
old? No, don't stop! Look at God, you cheat! You
He'll
cheat!
be honest.
Well, you know, a few years ago, because I'm an attorney.
What?
I'm a licensed attorney, so I
You
was
are
practicing.
not.
Yeah.
Okay, listen.
So about 5 years
you
ago,
get carded all the time.
I get carded all the time.
All the time.
I know he's a licensed attorney,
He
so
can't
he's
buy
got to
liquor.
be over 25, 30.
When you say licensed
He
attorney,
was with McDivitt for a
so
while.
you're part. Oh,
I worked for McDivitt for about 3 years. It's my first job.
Personal
now,
injury.
good. What do you do now?
Mostly personal
What do you
injury.
do now?
So now I work in blockchain, but I don't do cryptocurrency.
What do you do?
Work for a legal tech startup company.
Doing what?
Blockchain for the legal industry.
And then,
But nothing with crypto, though.
what do you? Okay, what is your heart's desire?
I've always liked technology and law, public policy, while helping people.
What do you do with blockchain that doesn't have to do with crypto? That confuses the hell out of me.
So a good example is like proof of existence. So let's say you get a document that's created, you can put a digital signature on it, and that's reported to a blockchain, so you know exactly when that document was created. Nobody can go back and ever change it, and you can actually see if it does get changed.
So if you do
that's a real simple use case.
If you do an online contract, like with a realtor, everything going back and
Yep.
forth, I mean like that, basically you can see any change, anything ever done to it.
Yeah, so one of the, we did a proof of concept where we did track changes in a Word document. So have you ever used track changes where you can see, so every single change was put to this,
But
was
what
put
do
to our blockchain.
What do you do different? I mean, Word's done that for 20 years. I
No,
don't
he's
get
talking
it.
about.
But you can manipulate that.
But
So
Word doesn't do that online.
I got you.
when you have documents, especially in big law, they get exchanged from multiple parties, multiple law firms.
Someone goes in there and changes some
Or
word.
it could be unintentional, where you're looking at the wrong document. You're not looking at the most current version, and so you can see every single. And this is just one use case. So
That's cool.
So think about everything we do. Where how many times you guys talk about where how do you prove that this contract was the original contract, or even if you had like a receipt. Let's say you went to had some type of service done, they print off a receipt. They could actually digitally hash that to.
So if
a
someone
blockchain.
uses the startup's technology
Mhm.
and there's an issue, do you guys actually show up to court to actually?
So being rules of evidence in different states are figuring that out right now.
Yeah.
Right now you have to hire an expert to say, explain the technology, but certain courts are starting to recognize that they don't need the expert anymore.
If they have the right technology.
Yeah.
I've always wondered that because I always thought, we're going back and forth on a contract.
That's right.
And then you send it to me and I'm like, you know what? We haven't even
Mark,
talked about
I know
this.
there's tiny little shit. I mean, look at all those apps contracts we signed for apps. All those pages. I often wonder when they don't require signatures on pages. How fucking stupid is that?
Each initial at least.
I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, our common man today in the studio, Pearson Grider. Pearson is an attorney. He also is somewhat of a specialist, or loves to talk about blockchain technology, which is the heart of cryptocurrency. and he is an attorney, which is cool. He has such a baby face. I, honest to God, no. If you told me you were 18, I would believe it. I would. I'm not saying that you can't be 30, but I would believe you're 18. I'd believe you're 21. I'd believe you're what did you say, Deputy Clint?
I can usually tell by his hands. His hands look
You're
like
a
they're
little
18.
weird. Yeah, that's a little creepy right there.
Yeah.
All right.
Dan said you can tell by his pecs.
All right. 303-713-TALK. Let's just do a little bit of this. Then I really want to talk about crypto. Hey, Heather, what's happening? Crypto for dummies. We're not going to go over people's heads. Heather, what's happening? Now, what do you mean drug court? Could you explain what that means?
You're on probation so that they can monitor you closely. You can go
okay.
every other week
to make sure you're in compliance.
Right, exactly.
Okay, so what's wrong? You were shown to be positive?
So what's happening is ever since they've put in the mouth swabs into the UA part of it at Armon, I keep coming up hot for alcohol like every 8th one.
Now, is it hot on the mouth swab or the UA?
Only on the mouth swabs.
What does the UA show when the mouth...
Completely clean.
So when they conflict, what happens?
They're telling me that they have to send it in for confirmation, which for some reason is coming back still hot for alcohol when they confirm.
Yeah, but what do they say when they're in conflict? What does that mean? In other words, it must mean something.
They said that alcohol can be out of your system faster than it would be out of your saliva glands, which doesn't make sense.
That's just the opposite, in my opinion, but what do I know? I mean, I would think just the opposite.
Could it be mouthwash or something, Tom?
Do you mouthwash?
I don't use mouthwash. I've been really strict on what I put in my body due to the fact that I thought it was breath mints, I thought it was energy drinks, so I've completely stopped everything. The only thing I put in my body is Mountain Dew, water, and juices. But I just wore a scrim for a month. I just paid for it out of pocket to try to prove to them that I'm not drinking.
Okay, when you do your own test, does it show hot?
No, that's the thing is I just did one on the 18th for my work. I did a mouth swab. Went down, did another mouth swab with Armand's, not even a half hour apart from each other. And the one from work showed up completely clean. But the one that I went down and did at Armand's, again, came up hot for alcohol.
Wow.
They're trying to replicate me and put me back in jail, possibly prison now, which it's not my fault, and I'm not understanding what I can do on my end. I'm hoping somebody can give me some answers.
What I'm reading is in the urine, it can last 10 to 12 hours after you drink. In the blood, up to 12 hours. But saliva, 1 to 5 days.
Oh.
But the thing is I'm not drinking.
Hey,
what
do they, this is weird. You know, this is where you hear stories like this and you wonder, are people getting screwed? Is this poor woman going to end up behind bars for no reason? What was your original offense that you would have to have this? I'm curious.
Grand Theft Auto back in 2014. I was in a stolen car that I did not know was stolen, and when we got pulled over, we ultimately got charged with stolen car.
How old were you then?
Oh, gosh. Really? I was 36.
Have you had a checkered past in general?
I have, actually, you know, and I'm trying to change my life around, and I'm honestly doing everything right this time. I'm not trying to...
Here's the problem with the category. I know what you're saying. Here's the problem with the category. Even more unlike someone who claims their ring was stolen from a hotel room or tries to do an insurance claim. One of the problems in your category, Heather, is that people just naturally don't believe alcoholics or people who drink and drug-addicted people or people who use drugs. They just automatically are low on the credibility totem pole. They are, and that's a problem because...
I had the judge actually tell me when I was up on the podium trying to plead my case, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but actually tell me that, you're a felon and a drug addict, so we really can't take your words, with
I know,
anything.
but really, if you think about it, goodness gracious, they, meaning people who are addicted or are moving toward an addiction, even if you're not technically an alcoholic or technically an addict, the things people say and do for drugs and alcohol to maintain that is just incredible. I mean, I've had nurses who call me because they lost their job and I'm advocating for them and find out they are so into painkillers. And you would swear to God, I mean, that it's just something that, I'm not saying you are, I'm not saying you're lying. I don't know what you do when a mouth swab contradicts a UA. Yes, Suzanne.
Hey, Tom, what about just requesting a second mouth swab?
I mean, did they redo, she's not on, wait, there she is. Did they redo the mouth swab, Heather?
They do confirmations where they don't do an actual other mouth swab, but they do retest it. So
no, they should do another mouth swab.
They say they're very accurate, too.
They say they're very accurate? Really? Damn.
That's why they do them.
The thing is our moms down on Sherman in Denver, I was speaking with somebody, one of the people that actually do the tests, and he was like, I've been having a lot of problems with this. A lot of people have been coming back getting confirmations because theirs are coming up hot too. So I don't know if it's a glitch or maybe there's something wrong with the actual product or what, but I mean, I have never had to advocate for myself.
What's the name?
Much.
What's the name of the mouth swab kit they use? Do you know?
Honestly, I don't know.
Get the name.
I don't know. Okay.
Get the name, because I want to do some research on that name. I mean, if people are having problems, the great thing about the internet is that it aggregates, meaning with a search, you can tell if there are similar problems. It used to be you'd have a problem, and you call a manufacturer about your blender or car, and one of the favorite things customer service used to say is what? Oh.
You're the first time we ever heard of that.
Exactly. Issue. Oh, well, we've never encountered that before, and it makes you sound like a nut. To make you go away, guess what? Now you Google it and you find out there's a host of people. It took that thing away. Evelyn, you have a comment on this. Go ahead.
Yes, I do. I went through that UA testing, everything for my custody case, and the same thing happened. It was a little bit different. UA came back positive for alcohol, even though I hadn't been drinking. Then I took the PES test. It's PETH. And it goes back as far as 1 month. It tests for your blood.
Oh,
and
really?
If you really haven't been, you can go to like.
I wonder if she can ask for follow-up testing that goes back, maybe even hair follicle. Thank you, Evelyn. That's a good point.
The hair follicle goes, guess this one.
What?
Just a guess. How long do you think hair follicle and alcohol last?
Well, if you think
Without cutting your hair.
Well, no. That's what I'm saying. If you think about how hair grows, I would say 6 weeks.
90 days.
90 days. Would they accept a follow-up test? That's what I would present.
Now, what's your gut?
Have an attorney present.
Now, what's your gut? Now that she's gone, what's your gut?
No, she's still on hold. My gut is she's telling the truth. What is yours?
I don't know.
No, you know
she
what?
Sounds legit, but man, it's hard to believe. Multiple times she fails.
But then, if multiple times she failed, why would she continue to do it?
I don't know.
Why wouldn't she? Why wouldn't she next time around learn a lesson unless she can't stop?
Follow-up blood tests and make her pay for it.
It's hard to tell. I mean, I don't know. She sounds.
Well,
she sounds real deal, but addicts are the best fucking liars in the world.
Jerry.
Yeah. The best!
Okay, so my son's got that mole thing. When the dog threw up, his dog threw up in the car and stuff.
Did he eat his homework too?
What is today? Wednesday.
Why would dogs throw up?
Thursday, right?
Yeah.
It's Thursday.
That's weird. I mean, did the dog drink?
I don't know. Is there something in there that
That's why he threw up.
It's very sensitive.
My son-in-law had one of those.
So what do they do though with that? Do they give him a couple passes? How does it work?
Depends upon how much
want you the thing to start your car you're talking about?
God damn, that's a weird one.
Yeah, when it doesn't start, it reports back to them too.
Yeah, you gotta take it in, get that.
It's a problem.
It's $80 a month.
And then you pay for it. Don't you pay for the install too? Or
yeah.
And the X-Stall.
Yeah. X-Stall.
You're like, I can rip that out of here.
Try Blue Emu today. It works fast and you won't stink.
No, if they try to. My son-in-law had one.
It's the worst thing.
Flexident. That's the preferred way to get your car fixed with hail dings. And we know Flexident. We know all the workers. They have 2 convenient locations. You know, one east, one west. How about that? You just call for details, 303-619-6273, flexidentofcolorado.com. And here's the short message, all right? They are the preferred way. It doesn't detract from the value of your car. Insurance companies love them, and they have immediate openings. These guys are the best of the best when it comes to paintless dent repair and up to $500 discounts for big jobs. That's flexidentofcolorado.com.
My son-in-law had one of those.
Here's what's interesting about the drug test girl. She has to wear also the SCRAM unit, which is an ankle bracelet that continuously tests your pores for alcohol, and for the whole month it comes up clean. But the test shows she's positive.
God, I've never heard of this.
So that's her other thing.
Yeah.
You never heard of do SCRAM test? It's a
I didn't know they did that.
Yeah.
SCRAM.
SCRAM test. And it's an ankle monitor that tests your pores for continuously tests your pores for alcohol.
I heard of that.
And reports.
Yep.
We should have thought of that for the kids.
Hey, Daphne, call me on my cell. Call.
Kiddo gets to be a teenager.
Hey, you said there's 2 categories for this, and I can only find one.
Okay, when I go to the regular referral list.
That's ZipRecruiter.com/work.
Okay, and then
It does it every 30 minutes.
yeah.
Wow.
Wish I had that for the teenagers, Dan. The 9.
Yeah, but wait a minute.
Now start typing PUB. 2. Adjuster and adjusters.
Suzanne, my daughter put those tiles in 2 granddaughters' cars.
I know, I gotta do that.
We just have the automatic tracker.
Do you have a tracker?
Tells us how they drive.
Another
Tells
tile.
us if they go over the speed limit. Tells us hard brakes, cleanse. It tells us everything.
Well, it'll also tell you where the car's at, right?
Exactly.
So if it gets
That's what we
stolen,
need
but
to know.
and it's right in what do you call that thing you plug it into?
The fuse box thingy.
No, it's the same thing that you plug
OBD?
into
The
dongle.
ADL, Simple Line Data Link,
The OBD?
ASDL.
OBD.
Is it OBD?
OBD2, but the assembly, data link, assembly, anyway,
So what I'm saying is if you steal something, that's easy. I mean, I think that's what thief would do the first thing. Go up there and see what's in
by
there.
law, it has to be within 18 inches of the steering column,
What does?
that plug.
No. What I'm saying is if I was a thief and I didn't want my car being monitored, I'd take that out right away. Whereas a tile, you could hide it somewhere.
Yeah, because that's easy to find, it's within 18 inches of the column. Except Toyota hides it behind the ashtray.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're pretty hard to find, but that assembly line data,
But I would say new
ASDL.
cars, they should be able to tell wherever the car is at.
I've got the
God, I am blown.
I've got the thing I can get in and
The adjusters
reprogram
show
the.
up in both of them?
No. The people show up and everything, but there's 2 categories, and for the life of me, I can't find one of
Isn't
them.
adjuster and adjusters?
Yeah, but where the fuck is adjusters? I simply cannot
It's
find
not
that
alphabetical
category.
order?
No, it doesn't work that way because there's subcategories. I mean, I'm looking through every sub. I just can't fucking find it.
Would be under insurance?
Well, it's wherever I put it. The proper one is under professionals. The improper
Do you
one
buy
isn't under anything.
the
I wonder if it's a bug, like I deleted it because I wanted no ads.
digital money,
Cryptocurrency?
crypto. Do you buy the crypto?
I own a little bit just to
comment on that Armand drug testing.
just to understand it,
Also.
but I'm not an expert in crypto. I know
Yeah.
the basics of it because we don't work with crypto. But yeah, I've played around with it. There's
Oh, yeah.
thousands of different kinds of cryptocurrency.
Are there any
We
other
had a
drop-off
tenant
points?
who filled a garage with computers to mine.
They
it's mine.
have none.
How do
It's
I
gotta
understand
be
what that
easiest
meant?
to do here.
So the way blockchain works is you've got
email sent out to the
thousands or
donors
millions of computers that all have the same
Did you guys run it through
transaction
Corey?
record.
That's
And to get
exactly
people
This
on that-
hour brought to you by Frank Duran, the realestateman.com. Buying and selling real estate takes special skill. In a good market, it actually takes more skill. People don't realize that because you have to evaluate multiple offers to make sure it's going to close and it goes through. Frank not only has a team of experts for buying and selling, he also has a deadline coordinator for all of your deadlines and important transactions. They babysit you through the whole thing, and Frank babysits every deal. 303-920-1622. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. Okay, now, this drug testing, we have some comments on it. Dana is basically saying that, oh, not Dana, I'm sorry. Heather's basically saying that she is under court monitoring, mouth swabs show alcohol use, but at the same time, the UA does not. Now, urine analysis is out of your system faster than saliva. So they're figuring that's why you have a conflict. But then she also has an ankle monitor that monitors her pores for alcohol use continually, and that does not show any violations. Now, you would say if 2 of the 3 tests show no alcohol, why would they believe the 1? And where did you get the name of the mouth swab kit, Suzanne?
Well, she mentioned it, and then our listeners mentioned it.
Oh, I thought she said
the
she didn't,
Armon.
She didn't know. Okay. Bryce, what do you have to say about the mouth swab kit?
Tom, it's more of a comment about Armons. I'm currently...
What is Armons?
They must be the drug testing facility.
Is that... What is Armons?
They are a subcontractor to the state of Colorado.
Okay, got you. I got you. Go ahead.
So I do the UAs. Basically, they test the enzymes that your body produces to break down alcohol.
Okay. All right.
So the UA can detect up to 3 days. The thing about Armand's, that Sherman location, I've had problems there as well. The good thing about Armand's is there's many locations, and she should switch locations.
That's a good point. That's a good idea. Really, it is. Thomas? Go ahead, Thomas.
Tom, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
I wanted to just reach out and say that I can vouch that our mom's about as corrupt as it gets.
Really?
I took a plea after a DUI, and basically part of the plea was that when I was done with everything required by the court, I would be off probation. It should have taken like 3 months. And every time I would turn in the paperwork to our mom, which was then supposed to pick up the phone when the state would call to say, is Thomas done with everything, they would have lost the files. It went back and forth for 12 months.
Now,
So I
you
served
said
full
crooked.
probation.
Now, that denotes or implies intention. Why would they intentionally lose your file?
Well, because they get $50 a month, first of all, from the probationer, and then they get $10 per drug test. So they have absolutely no reason, no benefits.
They want to keep you, you're saying they want to keep you as long as possible. Well, Thomas, is Armand doing something wrong? Maybe it's not the swab, but the way they're doing it, who knows? She's got a battle on her hands. I want to talk about the 29th anniversary of ADA. This is important. You may not realize it, but it is. Americans with Disabilities Act. Now, you got to put yourself in their shoes. Think about just wheelchair accessibility. We might think it's overboard, putting in curb cuts and all of the things they do for restrooms and elevators or whatever. But if you ever tried to get around, you'd know what that act means. So Dana is with Rocky Mountain ADA, and they enforce, well, not enforce, you give information mostly, right, Dana?
Yeah, we're a technical assistance center, so we do no enforcement, but we help people understand what the law says, how to interpret it. And
So
then
if
how
I'm
to
a
put it into
landlord,
practice.
if I'm building an apartment house, I could say, hey, help me out here. I need to know what I need to do.
You could. Apartments and housing is under the Fair Housing Act.
Okay. A retail store?
Yes, retail stores, grocery stores, museums, libraries, restaurants, movie theaters.
Travel?
Places. Yeah, in the airport, the minute you get onto the jet bridge, you fall under the FAA. But there are certainly regulations as it comes to being in the airport.
What's your most common inquiry?
We get a lot of these questions about facility access, things about restrooms and doors, but we also get a lot of questions about service animals. I know we talk about that a lot on your show.
That is something that is so confusing, right?
It is. And it's tough because there's no certifying agency. So, as long as people are able to give verbal, credible assurance that their animal is a service animal, you have to take that at face value. And it becomes very tricky, and it becomes tricky because people try to abuse it.
And with employment, a common complaint we'll get here. I had back surgery, or I have a bad back, and my employer won't buy me a new chair or a different chair. And he or she, the employer, is supposed to make reasonable accommodations. How do you define reasonable?
Well, there's a lot of different ways to define reasonable, and what we're finding is the EEOC, who regulates and does enforce Title I, which is employment of the ADA, they don't see something like buying a chair, that financial. They don't think that that's unreasonable, and so you have to look at a lot of things, and usually a financial burden doesn't count as unreasonable.
So everyone can contact you, even if they don't know where to contact, and if it has to do with housing, you can refer them to someone, right?
Absolutely. If we don't have the answer, we're going to get you in touch with the person who does.
So give me the enforcement agencies. You said who is for housing?
Housing is fair housing, so you'd call fair housing first in Colorado.
And fair housing is federal.
That's right.
And then who is for employment? EEOC?
Yep. EEOC is employment, and then state and local governments and Title III organizations, which are your places of a public accommodation, restaurants, hotels, etc. Those are all enforced by the Department of Justice.
Department of Justice is for the public access. Then what about travel, FAA? What do they do?
They're going to have different regulations for what can be on an airplane. They have more lax regulations than service animals. They allow some airlines allow emotional support animals as well. That's where it gets tricky. So the FAA is going to make the regulations for what's allowed on the airplane.
Okay, so if you want to sum it all up, the 29th anniversary of when the ADA was signed, and Dana's with the Rocky Mountain ADA, and they're I like to say a catch-all for information on the ADA. And if it turns out you need to contact Fair Housing, EEOC, Department of Justice, FAA, depending on the area, Dana can help. The organization can help. RockyMountainADA.org. It's an important organization. RockyMountainADA.org. Brett, what's going on with your satellite? Is it TV satellite or internet satellite? What is it, Brett?
It's internet satellite, and I switched from CenturyLink because of problems.
Oh, my God, are you going to be disappointed? I hear satellite has terrible latency problems, delays, and hiccups. Yes, no?
Yes, that's what I'm calling. Since I've got it, I think there's been, in 2 months, I've been able to watch 2 movies at night without it buffering. In fact, at night, it never goes without buffering.
Who is your provider? Who is your provider?
HughesNet.
This is a problem. I don't know what to say. Can you get out of the contract?
Well, here's what I'm wondering is, since it's never worked from day one, I bought all the equipment. I mean, supposedly it's a 2-year contract, but, if they end up holding their end of the bargain, in fact, I started, well, I'm not going to tell you.
How much did the equipment cost?
Like $300-400.
And are you making monthly payments on that, or did you?
No, I just paid for it outright, and then I make monthly payments on their internet.
How much is the service?
Like $150 a month.
God, for broadband.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be giving me 25 megabits a second, and then you have a data limit of 50 gigs. And, they keep saying that I'm reaching my 50 gigs. I don't even hardly watch any TV, and I do. It's all in SD. But the problem is you can't even watch a show even in SD without it buffering. So they're not living up to their end of the contract anyway.
You know what we're going to recommend? Hold on a sec. No,
This report is
Direct
sponsored.
do it still or not? No, they do.
They do it through something.
Oh, that's right. And so Dish used to have this cockamamie thing. They stopped offering it. They do it through.
We did it out at the airport. It was horrible. We just dumped it.
I believe it is.
Who does it with AT&T?
AT&T is DirecTV now.
Yeah,
So DirecTV will offer you AT&T.
DirecTV.
Who will Dish offer you?
Oh, I don't know.
No. You guys are all fucked up.
DirecTV merged with AT&T.
Dan, tell.
I know it did. I just dealt with them.
I know they merged. What's that have to do with internet, though?
It doesn't. Hughes, I think, is the only service provider for internet. Yeah.
That does satellite internet.
Does satellite internet. I think they're the only one.
Gotta get advertisements all the time.
Well, this was a year ago. We tried. I mean, maybe somebody else done it since the year.
AT&T in most states.
Okay, got it. 3 seconds, guys. Mic's on.
I'm sorry. Hold on 1 second.
Don't be victimized twice. You've had a flood, a fire, storm. You discovered mold, or there has been a chemical problem with toxins, lead, asbestos. Call a company you can trust, because this area, this restoration industry area, is riddled with ripoffs. Get a company you can trust. American Restoration 24/7. American Restoration 24/7, and that's AmRest247.com. AmRest247.com.
What's the best way to understand cryptocurrency?
Well, that's what we're going to talk about. He can't tell you that in fucking 10 seconds. I mean, seriously.
I know, that's what I said.
All it is
the best
is
way?
an electronic exchange.
Yeah, but what's the best way to
money.
understand it? Is there a book out?
Yeah.
Oh, there's so many different guides, videos that explain it.
But I've never seen anything truly that is basic.
I haven't either. I still don't get it. Of course, that's me, but
The worst thing about it is there's nothing backs it up.
I have to build it up.
Right? Bitcoin, there's nothing that could go to zero and nobody could say anything and stuff.
You know what,
Well,
though?
it's speculative. I mean, it's based on supply and demand.
yeah.
Exactly. That's all it's based on, but there's nothing that's backing up saying, well, this should be worth
Well,
whatever.
our real currency.
But our
I got
really
one
is like that
American
too.
Restoration in there now to be loaded.
I mean, our currency's like that too.
I know, but it's backed up by the government, at least.
Sure, but it used to be, I mean,
Sort of back.
now you're starting to get into like the crypto fanatics, and I'm not a big crypto fanatic. Like I said, I don't do anything with crypto. I just know of it, and I've played around with it. But it's an algorithm, and there's a certain amount of Bitcoin that's going to eventually be released. So there's a finite amount of Bitcoin that eventually will be released.
Absolutely. I mean, it's continuing getting bigger and bigger because that's the whole idea of
Value,
money and stuff. That's where it gets paid, right?
I think one of the questions people ask is, you know, who actually uses it as commerce?
Commerce?
No, commerce. Like, who actually uses it as
marijuana
finance? They do, but I think where you see it more widely used are going to be in countries where their value of their money is so
speculative.
Like so Zimbabwe, for example, people would carry wheelbarrows full of cash, worth nothing essentially.
Service animals.
So it allows people to have microtransactions, being able to have commerce
Because you had
within
talked
the
to them
country.
a couple of weeks
those
ago.
are use cases that make a lot
I felt
of sense.
like I was watching the wrong show.
This was the 29th anniversary.
There's ways to track it.
The ADA.
Like Bitcoin, there are ways. I think the FBI owns like
safety of the masses.
FBI owns like 10% of all Bitcoin right now.
Really?
Something like that. Yeah.
I think
They own a significant portion. They own billions of dollars of Bitcoin.
I never heard. Wow. So
Yeah.
that's how they're.
Who does?
The FBI.
I think the safety is in the masses. You have so many people.
Well, the purpose of it is, like, as you were asking about the computers, is you've got, so every single computer that mines a Bitcoin has the exact same copy on a ledger. So any transaction that's happened, all of the computers or majority of them have to.
If he has all those computers sitting in the garage, does he have to use them for this?
No, he just runs it.
They're just running.
Running, and he gets, when a transaction happens, he'll get a percentage of that.
Okay.
So that's the incentive to run it.
So what kind of transactions is he doing on them?
Bitcoin. Well, it depends. It depends on what's programmed. Probably Bitcoin, which is the most popular. Ethereum is the second most
He was
popular.
trying to get me to pay his power bill.
But that usually right now doesn't make sense to do it if you're in the United States. Most Bitcoin miners have all moved to like Asia, where energy is really cheap.
Is energy cheap in Asia? Why?
In China, it just is.
They burn cheap coal.
Cheap coal and.
Have you ever seen China where
But
you
it
can't
starts.
see it
But
on the street?
But then it starts to defeat the whole purpose of Bitcoin. The idea of it is, the risk is minimized because you've got all the computers around the world doing it. But once you start centralizing all of the computers, such as a portion in Eastern Asia, then you can compromise the actual network. So there's some theorists about how Bitcoin isn't as secure as people think, but Bitcoin has never been compromised.
Oh, I thought.
Nope. There's been the exchanges, which are different level, but the transactions themselves have never been compromised, and they've been around for over 10 years now.
So how much can a computer mine Bitcoin? I mean, it doesn't seem like it's that much.
Well, okay, I don't mind you guys talking, but here's what I don't want. I don't want in his mind, this is what happens, and Clinton, you can talk all you want, but when people talk and then they lose track of exactly what they said to you or what they said to me, and they start phrases like "as I was saying" or "before." I mean, that's why if you know.
So we're going to talk about it later?
No. That's exactly what the whole segment's going to be. Is understanding Bitcoin and crypto. I don't mind you talking about it. I really don't.
No, I didn't know we were going to discuss it.
Even though he might think, "Oh, that's not going to affect me," you are shocked that when things are not fresh, I can't even explain it. I can't, just like I can't explain why when I'm talking to someone on the phone on the radio and someone in the studio, my voice sounds different. It's my voice, not theirs. I mean, talk about my voice for some reason when you don't. So I want to keep it as fresh as possible. That's why you've noticed I didn't ask anything of him in the studio other than we will. Yeah, I've been promoing it.
Okay.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Coming up, we're going to have somewhat of a primer, or as some people say, a primer on crypto. But I want it to be for dummies because I just hate these places that try to explain it. But they don't really start from scratch. They don't. They assume you know something. And so many people want to know about cryptocurrency as an investment, as a trade and commerce tool, as a protection, or if they should avoid it. 303-713-TALK. So what happens when you have a company who does a contract with you and they're not living up to it? He's saying his HughesNet satellite never worked ever. So, Brett, first of all, did you sign a contract for a certain length of time?
Well, I think I did. I didn't read it as careful. I know they never told me that I was signing a 2-year contract, but since I'm above 21, that's my responsibility. But yeah, I believe I think I did.
All right, so if you obligated yourself, then you both have to live up to your ends of the bargain. So what did they promise?
Yeah, do they guarantee speeds in that agreement?
Or do they mention disclaimers like, hey, you're going to have latency, you're going to have spooling, you're going to have, do they tell you that?
They say during bad weather, that can happen, but not just, and it's time of day. I think they can't supply the bandwidth because sometimes during the day, the internet comes up a much better, and you can almost watch a show without it buffering, but it starts getting up there around 8 o'clock at night. And I mean, it gets so bad, it just keeps getting worse and worse. Sometimes the movie will just say, you'd be watching and say, well, we can't continue with this movie because of insufficient speed or network error or something.
Did you call and just flat out ask for a cancellation?
I tried to. Here's the other problem. I got my home phone on it, Tom, and you can't even get through to them because the internet gets so bad. I go to make say, hey, this is the problem. They get on the phone, you got them automatic answering, and it says, do I have your area code right? And you're supposed to answer yes or no, and I'll say yes, and it says, and a little while later it'll come on and says, sorry, I need an answer to that question.
Okay, Brett,
Brett,
listen.
It's just horrible.
Brett, you need to do something drastic here because you're not going to get them to acknowledge you.
Yeah,
I would start a lawsuit in small claims court for the cost of equipment and trouble, and sue for the cancellation of the contract. That's what I would do.
What if I don't care about the $300-400? I mean, I guess I should, but
no, but that would get you there because they'd have to answer it.
What if I just cut their cord and go back to CenturyLink or somebody else?
Well, you can. Then they're going to come. Okay. Then they're going to sue you for breach of contract, and they're going to try to collect.
They subsidize that equipment and the installation.
No, he bought it cash.
They still are subsidizing it.
Who'd you buy it from, Brad?
Deal.
Who'd you buy it from?
I bought it from Well, it was from HughesNet, but they subsidize. They send it out to some. I'd have to look
well,
it
no,
up. the name of some
but you could have
downtown.
gotten it. You could have gotten it at a discount. Like when you buy an iPhone or something, many times it's subsidized, even though you think you're paying for it. You're paying a lower price because you agreed to a certain length of time. Now, a lot of companies stopped doing that, and they just make you just make monthly payments. So we have somebody. Hold on. Mike called in and says he may have some information. Mike, what do you have, man?
Hey, I had a HughesNet at one time too, and they promised you the moon, and they're terrible. The latency, the backups, all of that. And I called the FCC, and I called them and I emailed them, and they gave me results. They got me out of the contract.
Oh wow, the FCC.
Yes.
That's a great idea. Do you remember where you started with the FCC, so we can get him started?
I Googled the FCC web address, and I went from there.
You know, actually, that's a pretty damn good idea. Except you don't normally hear about, you know, results, or you don't know what agencies really work and which ones don't. I know, I always tout the wage and hour people here in the state of Colorado and how aggressive they are. Who else is aggressive? You know, believe it or not, the IRS doesn't seem to be. You can drop a dime about someone cheating on taxes, and they don't do anything about it. But the FCC, he's saying, will take some action. So, Brett, let's try that. Try the FCC. I want you to stay in touch with us so we can follow this through. I'm Tom Martino. Coming up, cryptocurrency for dummies. Let's see if we can dumb it down and talk about it. I'm Tom Martino. Don't forget referralist.com.
The deadbeat dad people are aggressive.
Huh?
The deadbeat dad people?
Oh, yeah, he's right. The courts are,
they're very aggressive.
They'll suspend licenses.
Yeah, they'll jail them.
Floor coverings are a funny thing. Everyone sells the same.
Who's that second guy involved in
Two things only. Two things. Price and then the service, because installation is critical. Buddy is at the top when it comes to installation.
After Brett. Just called. Just asked.
Oh, I didn't catch his name.
To make your own appointment. That's simplyfloors8.com.
Oh yeah, is that up?
Brett?
No, Brett is
No, Brett was wrong. No, it's not. No.
Also, the guest Wi-Fi is not working. I'm just using my phone.
It's terrible. It may come on here. I'll get you the.
Yeah, because it says there's no internet. I checked on my phone too. It just doesn't work.
You keep on. I don't know why it's like.
Hey, Clint, you're welcome to move into this chair if you want, because that guest isn't showing, obviously.
Will do. Sit higher.
Yeah. Ooh. Get you in the big kid's chair.
Yeah. Heaven. Well, my back is killing me today.
It is?
Huh?
It is?
Oh, we've moved everything out of both garages.
Not as bad, right? Oh, so you have normal aches and pains.
Yeah, but we moved everything out of both garages to start on a kitchen. So all that moving.
Man, Sean has his head so far up Trump's ass.
Who?
Sean Hannity.
Why do you say that?
Oh my God.
Yeah, but Sean's, I mean,
he's not are you saying he's objective?
No, I'm saying he's going to have his head wherever his audience wants him to go.
Yeah.
Who's that?
That's
Sean Hannity.
Oh.
I like Sean.
I like Sean.
There's lots of breaking news on this show.
Yeah. And through his filter, he's
so where's the
totally
30-something? Where do you sit here? Are you liberal?
I would say more moderate. So my first job out of
moderate attorney. Get the F out of here.
We're tired of moderate. We're tired.
Everybody says that.
Well, I would say I definitely lean more business side.
I'm radically
conservative. And then you more socialist, who's more liberal. I don't care what people do. It doesn't bother me.
I think
so you don't care if I shoot people in the face all day?
No, as long as it doesn't. I don't care what people do to themselves.
Can you believe he said that?
No, I don't care.
Maybe I didn't even.
You don't care if I blow myself up around other people and kill them?
As long as you're not. I don't care what you do to yourself.
See this guy.
But I care
Typical attorney. It depends.
It does depend.
That's the answer. You know, I don't know if you know, Mark. I'm a little right of view on Trump. I'm just not outspoken.
I'm a huge Trump guy.
I am too, but I think I'm a little right of view.
Well, before the election, you wouldn't have found a bigger Trump guy than me.
Yeah, well, I predicted to everybody from the day he walked down the stairs he was going to win, and I never backed down from that. Not even during the dark days of the election.
Do you know what they call 300 attorneys at the bottom of the ocean?
I've heard this probably a million times. Thank you.
A good start?
A good start.
No one likes an attorney until they need
Look
one.
at his shoes while you're up. Seriously, can you do those or not?
Oh yeah, I know where you got your shoes.
Those are easy.
There's no way he knows. You know those?
Yeah.
They're real common.
No shit. He's great at ladies' shoes. He can tell women where they, like what store they purchased
Why do
their
you
shoes
say that?
at.
That sounds like I'm not...
Where did you, he can tell you where you got your shoes though.
Yeah?
Yep.
Shoes are.
Are we betting or something?
We
or
usually
is
do
this
it for lunch.
Bet him lunch or something. I don't give a shit. I don't think you got his. He can tell most women exactly what store they got their shoes from. Sometimes he can even say what month, but I guarantee this, if he says he knows where you got your shoes, he does know where you got your shoes.
Those are easy, Barb.
Are you asking where I purchased these shoes, or are you asking if they're on my feet?
You've been listening to the show?
Needless to say.
I told you.
Yeah.
I podcast to listen to, I would say 4 out of 5 days a week.
Oh, okay.
So
They're not my shoes.
How's the way you get out of that?
You should have bet them, and then you say,
hey, they're not
my shoes.
They're my brother's shoes.
Where you got your shoes?
If you ever go to New Orleans, I'll guarantee you, if you walk around with numbers.
You know what I'm going to start doing after reading those articles? When we win the lunch bets, I'm going to start following the guy around till he pays lunch. we gotta get some thugs.
In New Orleans, you're probably falling down a dark alley.
They
do.
One guy commented and said he followed him for 3 miles.
And one guy said they followed him into a restaurant.
God, have you ever been to New Orleans?
Yeah, that's where I got the thing. That's where
God, I thought it smelled so bad.
Mark, I emailed you the front and back of her card. Is that what you wanted?
Don't you hate
Tom thinks it makes sense that they make us pay that. That $1,000 if she doesn't have health, Mark.
Yes.
But I just can't wrap
I'm
my
doing
head
the
around.
form right now.
Is that what you're doing?
I still have no idea why they do it, but
That Tom says it's for liability reasons.
what's it? So you're telling me? Hold on a second. No. I'm being serious here. How about someone that's out on their own? Their parents are dead or whatever the fuck. They don't have health insurance. They can't afford it, but they want to pay for credits. Fuck them. I find it absurd.
The school will make them take their insurance. They will.
That's what I'm saying. If they can't afford it, nor do they want it.
Mark, I don't
This
know what
country's
happened.
becoming shit when people
I'm
demand
not
you gotta
telling
do
you what I
something.
fucking agree with.
So
or
you're
not.
saying you agree with this?
I'm telling you why they're doing it in their minds. You're
He's
less
an attorney.
likely.
Tell him.
He'll tell you. You're less likely to put in a claim for a medical bill if you have health insurance. That's why they're doing it. They may never have encountered it.
So you're saying if I'm from Afghanistan and
You
I'm
have
in a war
some guy
zone,
in a tie making decisions for loss control, and they're saying, you know, if we have all of the students insured with health insurance, we're not going to get nickeled and dimed if they fell over a curb and tripped and broke an ankle.
yeah, but aren't they a state agency in most cases? Don't they have fucking?
Okay, was my reasoning correct and why they are?
Yeah, I'm just a little lost here. So what's the context?
The context is this: a college is making me prove my daughter has health insurance, or they're going to charge her thousands of dollars per semester,
or she can't attend.
For health insurance,
or she can't
attend. So why?
Now, I'm sure, by the way, you could probably go to the Supreme Court on that one.
What school?
Metro.
Metro. Okay. So, for example, like I went to a Big Ten school, public, and I don't know if they mandated it, but they had their own health facility. And my guess would be is they don't want someone getting sick or injured show up to the hospital and then walk out on the bill. I mean,
or being sued for nickel and dime.
But what would the college give a shit? Oh, you're saying their own health facility.
Yeah, their own health facilities, you know. So a lot of them have their own med schools, their own nurses and stuff. Like
it's every school. Mark.
Yeah, but Metro doesn't have that.
It's every school.
I don't know.
But what is
CSU does it?
But why? We're asking
private schools do it.
He gave his reasoning. Why
but
do
that's
you
the
think?
reason
I would
they
say
have.
because it was the law. Prior, when Obamacare came on, it was
maybe.
the law.
Actually, that makes more sense.
That's right.
No, here's another way.
Because you have to have it.
It's for loss mitigation. I don't care. That's why you have to have your car insured in order to get onto campus.
It would also.
So you're saying someone that has no legs and no car has to have car insurance?
No, if you have a car and you use parking on.
You know, some landlords are even requiring renters insurance now.
And I think they should.
That's smart.
I think they should.
That's smart. I would. Wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the only show of its kind anywhere in the universe. In fact, it is the longest-running show on radio with the same host currently on the air. Challenge me. Go ahead. Here's what you do. Name one.
Howard Stern.
No, the same show, same host, currently on there. Oh, actually, wait. Does he have the same show?
You know, technically,
I think he has different shows, but
technically, when he was doing just like FM music and stuff, but that's different than his show now.
Right. But he's probably one of the longest people on radio, period. And yeah, he's been on a damn long time. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. He's changed over the years. And, you know, I think this is just proof that people bend to political pressure. You're not going to hear him talking anymore, asking about the things he used to ask about to a woman. You're not going to hear it anymore.
No, very rarely.
You won't hear it. And it's because, well,
I think he's softened a lot, though.
Do you think he softened it, or do you think it's because it's just not cool to do it anymore?
I think he's, probably both. Yeah, you're right. He'd get blackballed if he did some of that stuff now. I mean, there's no doubt about it.
303-713-TALK, 713-8255. And speaking of blackball, by the way, I can't help but saying, you don't even have to be convicted. You don't even have to be proven. It's just the accusation that does it. It's sad, but then again, you know, I mean, it is sad no matter what. I mean, there should be at least something, right?
Think of what Mueller actually said. He said in that report that we don't have enough evidence to convict Trump, and at the same time, we can't exonerate him. When in this country did you have to prove your innocence? It's the most absurd thing I've ever heard in my life.
Well, for anyone, this thing about we can't exonerate him, that's just an unfair statement. As I said, they say that in law enforcement so they don't look stupid. I don't know why Mueller's saying it, but it's just wrong. Because you, as I said, Mark, if you called Mueller's office and said, can you exonerate me? Can you absolutely 100% exonerate me?
Say no.
They can't exonerate you. They can't because they don't know enough to exonerate you. It's just... it's
not even the burden of proof. It seems crazy. They're basically saying, "Hey, you're guilty now. Prove your innocence." Like we're in Iran or somewhere.
We've been talking about satellite broadband, and I want to continue this, but also I want to bring up our fun guy today. We call it a common man with two requirements: that you're a longtime listener and you love and adore me. Those are the only requirements. And we'll talk to Pearson in a minute. He's a young attorney. A cool guy who came in to say hi, and he knows a lot about crypto, so we'll talk about that. This hour brought to you by One Clear Choice Garage Doors. And really, the name is great because it is One Clear Choice. Once you do business with them, you don't even bother calling anyone else. You're going to think, wow, these guys are the bomb. And you get these free inspections if you just mention my name. And they'll go through One Clear Choice, your whole door system, and give you a full written report. And they'll even adjust it and safety adjustments and also hinge bolt tightening and lubrication. That's OneClearChoiceDoors.com for any repairs or full garage door openers.
Did they sell you those?
OneClearChoiceDoors.com.
Did they sell you those sidewinders? Those are cool, aren't they?
That's what I have. You know, the concept of not having anything on the ceiling and just having that small box on the side is so cool. So on broadband for satellite, you know, it's not a good product. You're always buffering, or you have latency delays. You have just terrible service. That's why most of them dropped. Hughes is still selling it.
Well, there's some areas you simply can't get anything else. But the upload, you could never use it like with a phone. The download, once it starts streaming, is generally decent. But in his case, it's simply not working for TV.
Now, Brandon is calling in from Iowa, and you have a comment. Go ahead, Brandon.
Yes, I do, Tom, but I'll start off by saying I actually used to listen to you back in the late 90s when I first heard you.
Cool.
And you were on a national level for a while.
Right, that's
so
right.
I remember that. You used to be heard everywhere, and it's sad that you're not that way anymore.
That was a syndication that after 9/11, everyone started putting on political talk, conservative, specifically conservative political talk.
Hannity, Glenn Beck.
Anti-terrorist talk. Glenn Beck got to start then. And then the country seemed to swing that way, and it's still highly political. I don't think there's an appetite for talk radio of a general nature in general. Like, do you remember then you used to have the psychologists on the air? They were crazy
Right.
popular.
Dr. Laura.
Yeah, but she was kind of a
Right.
victim of
Dr.
that
Joy
whole.
Brown.
They were victims of this whole trend. And then, you know, we go back to our niche. You'll still hear them. And then I have a different forum now because we can do Facebook and YouTube and other things. But anyway, what is your comment about Hughes?
Well, HughesNet has been, I have heard nothing but horrible things about them. One of the things, we had an experience down here. We were trying to find internet service. We had just moved in here, you know, in 2014 in July. And we had a situation which happened in which the guy came over, and he wasn't very professional in my stance. Now, I'm totally blind. I've
Well,
got
all
other,
of them.
you know,
The reason,
disabilities,
Brandon, the reason for that is there is no standard. You're not getting an AT&T person. You're not getting a CenturyLink person. You're getting a guy with a pickup truck who decided to be a dealer.
Oh no, I'm talking in terms of like you know not very personable. Like he wasn't.
Well, yeah, because you don't
questions and he wouldn't talk.
Luck of the draw.
He wouldn't even talk. Right. And what happened? I had bought. Now this is going to sound crazy, but I had bought my mom a while back a 32 gig iPod, and that iPod went missing after the HughesNet. After the guy from HughesNet was there.
Well,
that's a bad apple,
literally.
though.
Yeah. Like I said, there's so what about the service? Did you end up canceling it?
We ended up not getting it because after my brother and we had talked about, because he's a gamer, he's an avid gamer.
Yeah.
And we.
You can't do that on there.
He wanted to. Oh, and he was just like, yeah. He's like, you can do just about anything on there. And then I went and looked up some stuff. I talked to a friend of mine because I didn't have internet access. They did. So I said, could you look up like what the speeds are? Because they're not telling me. And my friend looked it up, and it wasn't worth it. We're just like, nope, sorry, can't do it. Because once you find out that you know that the guy's lying to you and saying you can do anything on there, but you can't, then you're just like, yeah. If you don't want to go through a company that's the techs or the guys are just going to lie to you and tell you can do something.
But that's the story of the communication game right now. Even CenturyLink we caught in lies. Thank you, Brandon in Iowa. So I want to talk to our guest today and our comment, Pearson Greider. And Pearson is an attorney and he's working in tech. So okay, Pearson. I just want one basic question first with cryptocurrency. Can cryptocurrency be printed or have a hard form of some kind and kept without that online record?
So there is no dollar bill or
coin,
actual coin itself.
Okay, that's what I would need to know. Okay, so in currency, it started with, we couldn't carry enough apples to trade you for your mushrooms, right? So obviously they had something stand for the carrots and mushrooms, so they tried to find something in common. And it was whatever is of value and a finite supply. So gold became a good standard. But they couldn't carry the gold around, so they put the gold in Fort Knox, and the government said, you know what, we'll keep track of it. We'll write up notes that represent a chunk of that gold, and then you guys can do all your trading, and at any time you can turn in that certificate for your gold. So we got the government reserve, and we have gold. And then, of course, that became impractical because there was too many dollars, not enough gold. So then it became what we called the faith and credit of the U.S., and we became the world standard. So you have a U.S. dollar, and then that's translated to whatever other currency there is. And again, it was the gold standard, and kind of is, but really isn't. And then you have something called the Federal Reserve. Now, the Federal Reserve is supposed to monitor and control the supply of money so it doesn't go to zero value, basically. But their true purpose is to keep it worth something. And if you want to go to the conspiracy theory, it's to manipulate the world. But in any case, you have the Federal Reserve manipulating supply. You have gold, which it was based on. Now, I want to liken currency. I want to know. I know I can go in a cave and get the gold, and the gold will have value. Now I know what a cryptocurrency is. It's a certificate, or it is something representing value. But where did the something come from? Where is the cave? Where is the ore? We'll talk about it coming up.
This report is sponsored by
Between the gold and
No
silver.
practicing, not for him. You can talk about it.
No, I was just trying to remember, between gold and didn't we have a silver certificate on our money for a while?
A what?
Silver certificate.
Yes.
On some bills, some bills.
Some bills?
Some coins, right?
Coins were the silver and the gold.
I mean, it was literally worth its weight in gold.
Or silver.
Yeah, or silver.
But when it became impractical, then you have your paper money. Your paper money is a promissory note. It's saying that your government will guarantee that I can have this thing and it'll represent this with them. But it's
I was
a
reading something
representation.
that truffles were like X amount over the weight of gold. It was ridiculous.
You know, Ecuador uses the dollars or something.
What did they train to find truffles?
That's what these countries like Zimbabwe should go.
Centeno Schultz is where I recommend you go for living stem cell therapy, for platelet-rich plasma therapy, for prolotherapy, and even for referrals for your surgery. You see, it's not a one-trick pony. Centeno Schultz is the real deal when it comes to pain, painful joints, arthritis, sports injuries, aging. AvoidSurgeryToday.com is a website you can go to because they try to avoid surgery whenever and wherever they can. Sometimes that means stem cell therapy, sometimes not. The important point is that they do have alternative therapies and real, living stem cell therapy, one of the few clinics that do. Please check with me first or call them directly before wasting money somewhere else. AvoidSurgeryToday.com, 303-963-9201. They have free weekly informational seminars. Find out more at 303-963-9201. I definitely want that one.
My wife had both shoulders done. You know, or rotator cuff.
I mean, plate
stem cell.
Oh, really? Real stem cells?
Yeah, real stem cells.
They took them out of her hip?
Hips, yeah.
Fuck, was that painful?
No, she said it wasn't that painful.
Yeah.
Anyway, at 8 weeks now, she's not 80% healed. 80%.
That's pretty cool.
I know.
How long would it have been without? Did they get? Do you know?
What surgery?
Surgery, or it never gets well.
Oh, I thought they were talking recovery from surgery and sped it up.
Oh, no, it wasn't.
Yeah, but they were torn. They don't heal.
I get it.
No,
they don't heal on their own.
Well, not on their own, no. But surgery.
Surgery, yeah.
Well, the surgery, they pull them back together, yeah.
Those used to be, when I did workers' comp, that was probably the number one case that we would take. Rotator cuff.
I would have thought it would be back.
Well, a lot of workers' comp attorneys will take rotator cuffs tears because there's more value.
And there's more you can prove it better.
Yeah. I mean, usually most of the cases where somebody, even if it was a person reaching up at a shelf to pull something off, they'll tear the rotator cuff, and there might be an athlete, just very bizarre, really inconsistent who would tear the rotator cuffs.
I heard you could be rich in the backseat of your car. That's quick and do it.
Yep, this happened a lot.
She was in a bad bicycle accident. Got both of them.
See, I gotta watch myself because I run around, jump up and down, get in and out of things when I'm working on shit, and I have to remember, you can get an injury. I keep thinking I'm.
I broke my back just doing something simple.
I don't stretch. They say before you do shit like that and work. I don't really do that, but you should. And then I've been working on stuff underneath the panel and like stretched out underneath, and I'll be there for an hour doing shit, and then I don't realize this. The next day I am in so much pain. It's just not the same anymore.
That little ADSB that you were talking about that goes in the tail light, are you doing that on the air coupe?
Mm-hmm.
Have you done it yet, or?
Well, I ordered it. It's being approved. TSOs. Well, it was approved. Now they have to print the certificates and send them out. I already paid for it and got in line. This company is the only one doing these self-contained units on lights, either the tail or either wing.
Yeah.
It's the most incredible invention there is. I mean, really, they should allow them for everyone. Otherwise,
do you think they're going to require the ABSA? ADSA?
I don't know what that is.
The other half of it.
Why? What is it though?
Where you see.
No, that's called ADSB in.
Yeah.
Then there's ADSB out. I don't even know there is a such thing as ADSA. ADSB.
That's what I meant.
Yeah. They don't
require
out. That's optional to do the in.
Yeah. Do you think they will require it eventually?
Yeah, probably. I mean, if you're fat and happy, they want you to be able to see people, but they feel like if other people can see you. But then again, if it's not required, you're right. No one can see anyone really. But it does away with radar. That's the main deal.
Yeah.
Radar is an expensive technology and very limiting. Right now, you will, in essence, have no blind spots in the entire country. None.
Yeah. When I go to Phoenix, you're out of radar range almost the
You
whole
will
way.
never be out of range with ADSB.
Boy, those old IBM fucking printers or HPs are bullet.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Now, we have an expert. We're going to call him an expert. He may not qualify as an expert in court, but we're going to call him that. All right? Hold on, Jose and Joe, both of you. Okay. Where is the mine? You have to listen, folks. I can't recap every single time. So if you take this podcast and go back into the segments, you will get a full story of crypto from the ground up if we can. Now, I'm hoping he can be as dumb as we are and dumb it down for us. So I've always wondered, with cryptocurrency, where does it begin? I know that money begins with a thing of value such as gold in the mine. Where do I get the crypto in the mine? Where's the ore?
So I think there's two questions there. One is, where do you get it? You have to purchase it through an exchange online.
Well, yeah, that's how you, yeah. I'm talking about the base value.
So the base value, at least we'll talk about Bitcoin here, it was determined by an algorithm. And there's so many Bitcoins that are being released. There's actually a maximum amount that will be released. That's the amount of Bitcoin that.
So hold on. So yeah. When they reach the maximum amount, there will never be another Bitcoin.
Correct.
So that's what gives it finite value.
Yep.
Or infinite value based on a finite number. But who was the guy that started this?
Satoshi Nakamoto.
And no one actually knows who he is or if he's a person.
Yeah, there's speculation on who they think it is, but nobody really knows who it is. He wrote a white paper describing the idea of Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, and then that was developed out.
Okay, what I need to know, though, is how is an actual Bitcoin produced? Where does it get value? What is it?
So it's just a digital currency. So it's a currency that's recorded.
But you can't see, you're not dumbing down enough, because I swear to God, people need to know, okay, this guy to Satish says, okay, we have Bitcoins. Did he make 1,000 of them and send them out? Where did it come from?
They mined them, right?
But Mark, where do you mine it? I mean, we're talking to people right now, real people, and you say they mined digital currency.
Did they
go to a cave and go in there and say, oh, here's a Bitcoin?
No, they bought a bunch of computers that take a lot of energy.
Then what?
And they ran certain tasks, and didn't they get them for the amount of tasks they ran?
Well, you know, but that makes sense to you, does it? Because what do you mean they got Bitcoins for running tasks? Who are they running tasks for? Did IBM say, hey, if you can run some tasks for us, we'll pay you a certain amount of currency? That's what I'm getting at. Do you really understand it, or are you repeating what you've heard? That truly, I mean that.
I'm repeating what I've heard.
Not as an insult, because I don't find, that's the one problem I have with BitCurrency, is I don't have anyone who truly can explain it. They just want you to believe in fairy dust. They say, oh yeah, these computers mined them. Oh, my computer just crapped out a bunch of Bitcoins. You know, how was that? You know, so and I'm serious now, can you explain it? How is a Bitcoin produced? I want to be a miner, okay? What do I do?
So you need to have a computer machine that can do it.
Okay, what is a computer machine that can do it? A computer?
Just any computer.
Okay, I have a computer. How do I turn that into a Bitcoin crapper?
You need to download the software.
Okay, good.
And run the software.
What does that software do?
So what that software does is, when a Bitcoin transaction happens, let's say if I want to give you a Bitcoin.
Yes.
All of the computers, called nodes, run the algorithm that this transaction's actually happening.
They track the transaction, and then that is run through a number of computers who have agreed to be there.
Yep.
And by agreeing to be there, then you get one of those coins?
You get partial of that. So
so that makes a lot of sense. So to keep the system going, you're part of the system's computing capability, right?
Yep.
Okay, but what I want to know is there any other way? Are all of the computer transactions going on, the calculations, the computations going on in member computers, whatever you want to call them, affiliated computers, are all of those computations only for Bitcoin transactions?
So yeah, so ones that are designed for Bitcoin are only going to run Bitcoin. There are thousands of different types of cryptocurrencies out there that'll be designed slightly different.
But for Bitcoin, But does the computer have to be dedicated to Bitcoin computations?
Yep, that's what they're dedicated
Can I
to do.
put a computer in my home, spend a lot of money on it, and volunteer to be a Bitcoin crapper?
Yep, you can do that.
I think Mark Hope over at Action Computers has a whole back room of
Now,
them.
if I buy computers to do this, will I get any substantial accumulation of Bitcoins?
Well, my understanding, and it's something I don't do personally, but it's becoming less incentive to do it because the cost is so high.
And by the way, people can call us if you have stuff, really. And Andrew's on. He wants to talk about it. And you know, Pearson, to be fair, you never touted yourself as an expert. You didn't say, I'm going to come in and explain all this. So people don't think this is some kind of an adversarial interview. It's not. I mean, he just is in it. And in my frustration, I love to break things down, so I understand them. I don't like to pretend to understand things. So when you have this computation power, these member computers earn by computing the transactions of themselves.
Correct. So the ones that what happens is when a transaction happens, it's a race. Is who can figure out the algorithm really quickly to make this transaction happen. The ones that win the race get part Bitcoin.
Right. Okay, so why is there a race? Why isn't it just like an Amazon transaction?
Because you need to have at least 51% of the computers within the network come to an agreement. So if you've got thousands...
Come to an agreement. So what is posed to these computers when I present a Bitcoin in a transaction? What's posed to them?
So the purpose of it is if I want to give you a Bitcoin,
yes,
all of the computers that need to come to agreement, that actually happens. So you can't, it's fixing the double spend problem, where I can't send the same Bitcoin to multiple people.
Okay, so this Bitcoin is tracked with a unique identification number, much as money is?
Correct, yeah, except what happens, I think that makes the biggest difference between a cryptocurrency network versus, we call them an authority or a bank, is it's not held by one stakeholder. So you're not putting trust in a Wells Fargo or a Chase Bank.
Yeah. But this Bitcoin, let's say, just Bitcoin, this network, every Bitcoin is identified separately.
Yeah, so every single node has a record of every single transaction that's ever happened.
So these computers, upon receiving a Bitcoin in a transaction, go back through their histories to figure out if it's genuine or has it been used before and spent.
Correct, yeah, how it's being used. So it basically tracks how are these Bitcoins being used.
How do we know if it's duplicate? How do we know someone didn't duplicate it and try to have, you know, because you often have money, you buy something, then you sell something, and money can be used over and over. The same dollar can be used for 100 transactions. So how do we know it's not the same dollar, it's not the same crypto being used over and over, or how do we know it's not duplicated?
So I think the best analogy would be, let's say if you had $1 and you could track where that dollar went.
Yes.
That's kind of like how Bitcoin.
That's what Bitcoins do.
It doesn't get consumed; it gets transferred and moved around.
And these computers keep track of that.
Correct. And new Bitcoin get introduced when the miners receive basically the reward for making that transaction happen.
I understand. And the reward is showing that that tracking is accurate.
Correct.
And if computers disagree, it goes with the majority?
Well, so the computers aren't going to... So if they disagree, the transaction just won't happen.
You said 50% or more?
51%. I mean, there's experts that talk about you need more than that, but we'll just say 51%. So a majority of the computers have to agree.
Okay, so if they agree, then it goes through.
Correct.
If they don't agree, I mean, what is not agreeing? There's always going to be a majority, right? Or let's say it's 50-50. I mean, then it doesn't go through?
Well, it's going to go, I mean, as long as it's a legitimate transaction. So you need certain, they're called public and private keys to make a transaction happen.
Okay, so if you get these keys off of the member computers, the transaction is forwarded, is
correct. Yeah. How I like to describe real simply how this works with a public and private key. A public is everyone can see it, like your mailbox. Everyone knows your address. But when the Bitcoin or the mail goes into the mailbox, you can only, the person that's supposed to receive it has the key to open the mailbox to receive the Bitcoin.
So who actually wrote this algorithm? And so it is an algorithm to assure that they're not compromised. That's it in essence.
Correct, yeah. Yeah, so things aren't compromised. We know where this money goes. It also allows for transactions.
And it prevents counterfeiting.
Well, counterfeiting, yeah.
Okay, but who wrote this?
It was Satoshi Nakamoto.
Did he just dump it somewhere on the web and say, go at it?
Yeah, so...
Where does it reside?
I'm not an expert when it comes to history, but my understanding, he wrote a white paper that described this process. Yes. Online forums came up, and they ended up creating this algorithm. Yeah, and then it just kind of, it took off.
But it's amazing to me that without physical meetings and like the Federal Reserve, or really without consensus like that, they were able to go online, communicate on community boards, for lack of a better term, and come up with a centralized Bitcoin system.
Yeah, and I
but
think
it actually is not centralized.
Well, yeah, that's the beauty of it. It's not centralized because there's no one stakeholder that owns it, and so,
there's no way to be a stakeholder. There's no way to be a computer on this network and give false results.
Correct. So Bitcoin has it's been around for about 10 years now, and it has not been compromised itself. People read the headlines where Bitcoin's stolen. Those are at the exchange level. That's not actually at the transaction.
You can cheat someone into transfer.
What happens if someone truly lost their private key?
Then you lose access to that Bitcoin.
So what happens to that?
Is it gone
Bitcoin?
forever?
Yes.
It's like burning money.
Yeah, or it's just sitting in a safe that nobody has access to.
Okay, so another question, though, that's real. And Andrew, I'll talk to you as well, and I'll get to other people with problems. I just find it fascinating that it's there. And is there a danger of them having no value?
Potentially, yeah.
In what way? What would cause no value?
If there's no demand. So it's based on a supply and demand.
Because if people aren't using them in transactions, nobody's going to be caring about computating. Therefore, no one is going to be getting new coins to use.
Yeah, but they said there's going to be a level of how many new coins anyhow.
Yeah, I understand. But what if people say, you know what, I'm not playing Fortnite anymore, I'm going back to Minecraft, what do they say? I don't want to use a Bitcoin, period.
That would get rid of it.
You know, you have to be able to use it.
What if you have a transaction run through and you earn a Bitcoin? What's its value? What's it worth?
At any one time.
So it's fluctuated. Right now, it's running around $10,000 per Bitcoin. It's been as high as around $20,000 per Bitcoin a little more than a year ago.
You're not going to get that from one transaction.
But it started off at pennies.
Yeah. So one transaction on a computer, what's that worth?
Well, it just depends on how much you...
Well, how many... I think what you're asking is how many transactions do you need to do to get a Bitcoin, really?
It depends on how many computers you have.
No, well, no, but it still boils down to how many transactions.
Well, I think it depends on the value that's being exchanged. So most people aren't going to be exchanging one full Bitcoin. I think you can go up to 1,000th of a Bitcoin, or I forget what the decimal level is. That's usually what the exchange. And then when you do that, you're going to get a fraction of that, or you're going to be released.
And it's kept somewhere in a vault for you.
Yeah, so they're called wallets.
Do we have unique wallets?
Yeah, so there's two ways to really store it. You can have an electronic wallet, which is stored on your personal computer or in some cloud-based system out there. Then you've got the people that are more hardcore about it, and they want to store it on like a thumb drive. They call it a hard wallet.
We have more coming right up. Cool, but so scary because...
Well, the value, there's no backing of the value.
So they're trying to answer that with something called stable coins, which fall...
But how would you do that? What is it backed by? What's different?
It follows fiat. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not...
Well, I don't want it to follow fiat.
Facebook's looking at...
I mean, one of the things I don't want is...
Amazon. I can see that the value is followed by the public perception.
21 million Bitcoins can be
public demand, too.
Sure. Yeah. It also, I think, solves some of the ideas if you want to exchange money overseas. So right now, we currently use the wiring money.
Once again, though, I got one computer running and does one transaction.
Sure.
Is that 1,000 for Bitcoin?
I think 1,800. So now you're starting to get out some expertise.
How many?
1,800.
Oh, so there's not many. 1,800 a day.
Bitcoins are
and they stop in about 3 million more.
Hall of Fame catcher Johnny Bench for Blue Email.
So then it's going to go way up.
Yeah.
What's that?
Then it will go way up.
Yeah, but why would it go way up?
Depends on how big the transaction is.
Oh, okay. So it varies.
Guys,
Fix
it 24/7. The people I call when I have a problem with plumbing, heating, cooling, electric, and drains. You know, for $39 they'll find any problem. That's $39 for any problem. 720-526-3939. If you have the work done, they credit you that $39. So you never pay twice for that. FixMyHome.com. But here's a new special, $59 drain cleaning. $59 drain cleaning. You say, Martino told me so. $59. to get their drains cleaned, and if for some reason they can't, you'll get a full explanation, and it'll be honest and ethical. 720-526-3939. 720-526-3939. This is a company that also does checking of any system in your home, like your heating system, your AC system, your plumbing, your electric, for just $39 with a full diagnostic report and a no breakdown guarantee. 720-526-3939.
Drain cleaning reminds me of a really funny story. My friend Jerry was having a drain cleaned, and all of a sudden his dog in the backyard is just raising hell. They went out to look, and the thing that said went down had gone up against that. And then out and was in the backyard walking around the tree.
Say it again.
I think more importantly, like, because the company I work with, like I said, we don't do cryptocurrency. I think it's the technology that's backing Bitcoin, the idea of having this database that
could it lose its allure when all of them are mine?
It wouldn't be Bitcoin, but they're
I think there's also
or does it gain?
They also get I think there's incentives when they actually take, there's like a fee attached to it when the transaction actually happens, so they get released money. They also get a part of the fee, a really small fee for the transaction to happen.
I didn't realize that's
percentage
versus
getting to like wiring money overseas.
Did you hear back from Joe on that email?
It's very hard to send small amounts of money overseas. Yeah. All the wire transfers,
we need to.
They have to go through all the banks, can eat it all up. So if I want to send somebody $200, it could be eaten. 75% of it could be eaten up in transfers.
Money to the Philippines on.
What do you mean?
So their wallet has been lost.
Oh,
how many?
That just
3 to 4 million bitcoins have been lost. They estimate.
They revalue other ones.
The whole point of like a Bitcoin is so you're trusting, you're basically putting the trust in paper.
Eventually, wouldn't it be out of circulation?
Versus a Bitcoin, nobody owns, nobody controls it. So it's a
now they don't know what they're
going
to do when they hit 21
cryptocurrency
million.
purists. That's why they love it.
They don't know what they're going to do when they hit 21 million.
He says there's still fees paid on those miners for transactional fees. So
how do they pay the fees?
How do they pay the fees?
No, it comes out of the transaction, so the seller doesn't get no money.
Oh, okay.
They pulled
So
all my
they
teeth
just
out.
add that to the transaction.
Oh, those are tough.
Yeah, I have to wait 5 months to get by.
Yeah, but then why would you? I mean, they start beating you up. You go
No,
back
they're not going to
Well,
be.
they're probably waiting to see
Mark,
take. I know one of my coworkers.
You haven't done
you do. No, but I'm saying after all the Bitcoins are made, someone would notice it.
But the price of something is going to be what it is.
The lower you don't
pay
ever have to grab
and
it
the
because
buyer, the seller will realize a bit less than they sold it for.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know how that's going to work.
What's going to be the magic bullet to protect transactional fees? What if they get outrageous after the mining stops? What if?
Well, because it's all pre-programmed into a system versus, like let's say.
No, but right now, if I'm a miner,
Yeah.
I get paid by new Bitcoin.
And I believe also a transaction. I have to double check on that. Like I said, I don't know exactly how but there's an incentive there.
How could this guy have foreseen all of this and written a code to do these transactions?
Because he's a genius.
But it goes beyond genius. It's madness. I mean, just think about what he's doing. He's saying, I want to have an invisible currency where people exchange, and we're going to start out with just one, or whatever. I mean, how did the initial mining and value happen? Did he issue a certain amount?
I think, well, you start with the Genesis block. And yeah, so there's an initial amount that was
Someone
released.
sat down and came up with our 3 branches of government and how they saw everything.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255, simplyfloorsinc.com. Remember them? Well, I have something to tell you. Simplyfloorsinc.com is they do above and beyond the installation of any other place. So we talk about prices all the time, but you need to know about the installation, which is just as important, and they'll take responsibility. Simplyfloorsinc.com. All right, now let's talk. We have Andrew who wants to talk about Bitcoins. So and those listening, I'm not going to recap everything. It's just too much. We're talking about Bitcoins, the genesis, and what is mining, and how do you get credit for it. And we're trying to dumb it down. I mean, as much as humanly possible. It's still beyond me how one man could have written this, or even a committee of men written this, or women. You write this, you send it onto the internet, you put a block of starting currency, and then from there the whole world, oh my God, it's just like it becomes what it is. Andrew, go ahead.
Hey, Tom. So I'm not an expert on Bitcoin, but I was looking into it pretty deeply. I decided against setting up a system to mine it, so I learned a fair amount about it. I think I have a pretty simple explanation, which might dumb it down too much, but give people a better gist.
Go ahead.
In total, there's 21 million Bitcoins that will be released. Every 4 years, it's been called an algorithm, which it is, but an easy way to think of that as just a mathematical equation, very complicated for a computer. As time goes on, when Bitcoin was first released, these mathematical equations were very easy compared to where they are now. As a result, about every 4 years, the amount of Bitcoins that are available to mine get cut in half. So as it gets farther and farther down, these algorithms get more and more difficult, or these mathematical equations for the computers to decode. So they become more and more valuable because it's more rare. It's going to be about 100 years before all of these Bitcoins have been mined, and we're already at about 17.3 million that have been mined to date.
Oh, really? That's a very good way of looking at this as far as the work performed. So the work performed, these computers computing these equations is like the gold miner in there picking at gold.
Exactly. And they're not, I mean, it is, they don't have real value. It's much like the stock market.
Well, of course they don't.
They have is the value people assign to it.
Of course.
The more people will pay for it, the more they're worth.
Of course.
But the more rare they become, the more people are going to pay for it. Theoretically, there's potential issues there if it becomes a completely illegal source of currency. Then of course the value is going to go to nothing.
But what's really funny is how people even talk about valuing crypto. How do they do that? With money, with USD. I mean, they don't say, well, how much is the dollar worth? How many Bitcoins? They say how many dollars, toward the Bitcoin. The Bitcoin is still subservient to the US dollar, because that's what we always ask. How many dollars is it worth? Well, what do you mean? It's not a dollar. It's not worth that. It's worth what it is. But we put a number on it, but it's funny. The number we put on it are dollars. We have not dreamed in Bitcoins like people dream in foreign languages. We don't dream in Bitcoins. We dream in U.S. dollars. When we sell something and I look at a car, I don't immediately think that's going to be 1/1000th of a Bitcoin. I say it's going to be 10 grand. How much is that in Bitcoin? So
think of it like a company, Tom. Yeah, I mean, it's based entirely on consumer confidence.
That's it. It's a collectible. That's all it is a collectible. That's exactly. If you look at it as a collectible, it is truly not a currency, because here's why. A currency, like U.S. currency, there's nothing competing with it. Now, Bitcoins don't compete with it. They simply transfer dollars into Bitcoin, and then from Bitcoin back to dollars. If there were no dollars, people wouldn't care about a Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying? If the dollar went to 10 cents, then Bitcoins would go down accordingly, just proving that there is no real value. It's a collectible. So really, with the U.S. dollar, you don't have another mint opening up and saying we are now the U.S. currency, and there's two U.S. currencies. But you do have other Bitcoin systems. So if you have 100 Bitcoin systems, even though they're different systems, it's going to devalue any one of those systems, right? Simply because of demand. Hold on. If it's all run on demand, you have a demand for Bitcoins, therefore they hold value. Well, let's say that you have 100 different cryptocurrencies. No matter what, some of that demand, they're going to say, you know what? It's too busy to get into that restaurant. I'm going to another one. And so you have people, instead of demanding Bitcoin, they say the hell with Bitcoin. I'm going to go over to another crypto. That's the real danger, is that there will be other cryptos.
Well, there's no actual product either. It's a pretty volatile
but
market.
There's no product for the U.S. There's no product for the U.S. dollar.
Not anymore.
No. It's 303-713-TALK.
That's what I said. What if there are 50 other Bitcoin systems total? Well, it's going to diminish demand for any one of them.
And there probably is over.
No, I see that. I think when it comes to cryptocurrency, it's the bigger picture of this idea that you can exchange value without having any intermediaries, no government or banks or.
Yeah, but you do when you want to equate it, whether they're directly involved, whatever the Federal Reserve
it still comes back to the value of the dollar.
It's going to affect it.
I think that's here in the U.S. I think in your developed countries that makes sense, but where you start going to the developing nations, like I mentioned, like Zimbabwe, where there's no trust in the public in the government, the value's all over the place, and you want to be a farmer to sell cattle to another person.
As a world sitting down there, it's been down there for 3 weeks. Just call the main office and go get it.
American Restoration, 24/7. That is the company I would call immediately if I had a problem with a flood, with fire, with storm, with mold. These are the things I hope you never have to encounter, but if you do, I don't want you to be victimized twice. You need a company you can trust. And in this space of restoration, there are more rip-offs than good companies. That's why I can highly recommend American Restoration 24/7. 8337-AMREST. 8337-AMREST. That's AMREST247.com.
Yes. Roughly 312,000 transactions a day using Bitcoin.
How many of them?
312,000.
That's not a lot.
One of the things that's the problem with Bitcoin is actually the transaction speed.
Now that's not very much.
What's the problem? I think you can do like 1 Bitcoin every 10 minutes, something like that.
Yes, that's exactly right, and that costs $1.30, and that's given also to the miners plus their Bitcoin.
So that's why there's other technologies out there that are very similar that it can do more transactions. That's a different topic, but that's the problem. One of the issues with Bitcoin.
Competition, like you said.
Is Bitcoin the most secure? Do you think? Or
I don't know. Who knows? But I can tell you, 10 years they've never been compromised. So, and there's no oversight to. It's not like you hire security people to keep Bitcoin secure.
Right.
So, for being an autonomous type of system.
But who's rewriting all
Daft, check your email.
How did the computation get more complicated if there's no one there?
Exactly. Someone has to be.
Where is the original program?
It's with Tashi. They came up with it and the white paper, and they launched it, and
where's it set?
On every single node out there.
Yeah, it's not.
My fear is Bitcoin goes the way of Sears. It was a great idea for a while.
See, and I don't know about the implication of currency with the long run of that, but I think the idea of the technology of having this immutable record that nobody owns or controls and putting things on the
idea
record.
of Sears and Sears catalog.
That's where we see value
for
in our company. What?
The idea of Sears and Sears catalog for 100 years was a great idea. The internet came along and killed it.
But we can use blockchain technology for all this thing.
And that's what my company does.
Yeah.
All in the legal space. And
Give me an idea of one thing that's.
Well, they have this.
So I talk about when, let's say a contract is created, you can take a digital picture of that contract and know if it's ever been altered.
You ever notice
you can actually we did that with changes. There's another company based in Denver called Survey.
If I had a Bitcoin.
And they run the app, and they actually did when a serve actually happens, the attempt to serve. The GPS coordinates, date and time of the attempt to serve is all recorded, so there's an immutable ledger of that.
Well, you could do that in a cloud with encryption, right?
Sure, but you're still putting trust into one entity. So whoever runs and owns that cloud service.
Well, if it's put out among many, that can all be compared, and the majority
Yeah, so Serve Manager did it to prove that they couldn't even tamper with the record. Because I guess there's some...
There's too many copies.
No, yeah, you can't go backwards and do it. So the way the algorithms are, you can't go back and change it. So they call it blockchain because every single time it blocks, so there's data written to it, it forms a block. It creates a chain. The only way you can go back and change that previous data is you have to go back and change every single previous transaction. And there's not enough computational power in the world to do it.
Rod, that's why with blockchain mining, it gets more complicated.
The more computers that are on the network, the more secure the network supposedly is.
But the longer it takes.
The longer it takes, the more expensive it is. I think
Jeffrey Epstein was injured in jail and taken to a hospital.
Oh yeah, he was found unconscious with marks on his neck.
Uh-oh. They're probably in prison. I've heard that prison inmates, you can murder someone and not be, messed with in prison, but if you have messed with underage people,
I know.
They do not tolerate that in prison.
Child molestation in prison, they will. Yeah, you will be hurt.
I don't want to find out.
But Subway Jared is somewhere here in Colorado. Subway guy, Jared from Subway.
Oh, he's in jail.
Oh yeah.
Jared. Jesus Christ, he was. You guys didn't know Jared got busted?
I know he had an issue. I didn't realize he was in.
He's here in Colorado. He was in Inglewood for a while at some mental health.
What did he get busted for?
Underage kids.
What?
Oh, that's an illegal thing. Where are they? Where is he now?
I think it's somewhere in Canyon City, one of the Supermax prisons, I think.
Florence.
Florence, Canyon City. There's.
I
don't know which one.
We have the biggest federal prison in the fucking country.
It's the only Supermax.
No one's ever broken
El
out.
Chapo just went there.
It's in the side of a fucking mountain.
You're talking about Supermax?
It's in the side of a fucking mountain.
Well, that county down there where Kansas City, this Bravo's prison is.
There's a bunch of them.
Yeah, I
There's
know.
a female. There's all kinds of prisons.
Their county airport is one of the nicest in the country.
Did you know their airport, the control tower,
Who's the county?
had no elevator?
The county,
Canyon City.
Kansas City has
Or
those
stairs.
prisons.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255.
Welcome. I'm here to solve your problems, answer your questions, take your complaints. One of the things we're doing is talking about, you know what we're talking about? We're talking about crypto, but we're going to move on. Hold on. Don't hang up. We're going to go back to it. I need to take some people here. Linda, problem with Ralph Schomp Honda. What's the problem, Linda?
I bought a car in January.
Yes.
And when I went to go get the tags, they didn't have the paperwork. I've gone back several times.
Wait
to
a minute.
DMV.
You still don't have your stuff?
Nope. And I left several messages for Ralph Schomps, never heard anything back.
Wait a minute.
She's not telling you everything, Tom.
Is this a new Honda?
2016.
Okay, what is she not telling me, Suzanne?
The reason she can't get it tagged is because there's a lien on the vehicle.
Yeah, but then they shouldn't have sold it.
Exactly. I mean, it's just that's the bottom line.
That's right.
Well, do you want your money back?
I don't know what I want to do.
Well, I don't think you have much. I don't think you have much choice. Get your money back, move on. But they should pay some damages if you've been damaged at all and it cost you money. Linda, we need to contact them right away, and we should contact them like today, right this minute. Deputy Clint, let's get on it. This is something I'd like to see if we can get done before the end of the show. Linda, how much did you pay for it?
16.
Thou?
$1,000, yeah.
Yeah, 16,000. And you have how many miles on it, out of curiosity?
How many miles I've put on it?
Yeah.
I don't know, but there was 50,000 on it.
Okay. Do you know what the lien amount is?
No, I'd have to. I know.
Okay. How did you find out there is a lien?
Because I went back to DMV and they would not give me another temporary tag. The lady at DMV got through and they told her there's a lien from the first owner on the car, and that's why they haven't been able to do the paperwork.
Now, that takes a few days, but it shouldn't take since January. You said it was January, right?
When I bought the car, yes.
Yeah, this sucks. This is unlike Schomp. I mean, let's get on it right now. Hold on, Linda. Deputy Clint's going to talk to you.
Didn't Schomp, aren't they the ones that had our referral list stickers all over their used car lot?
It wasn't them.
Okay.
They did not do that. Jose, what's happening? Jose?
Yes.
American Family, what's going on with American Family other than they suck? They do suck.
Well, the problem I have with them, maybe I just want your opinion on it.
Yeah.
And my car has hail damage, so they give me a pledge ticket for an estimate for repair, and I did. They give me an estimate for $7,496.
That was the adjuster?
Yes, whatever they told me to take it.
No,
And
what do you
then-
mean? Hold on. Oh, we're talking about a car.
Yes.
Okay. And then they told you to take it to an adjuster or to a body shop?
A body shop.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so they give me that estimate. Right after that, they gave me the estimate. A lady called Robin called me and said, "I see you're opting for the cash out."
We have people bitching now.
Okay, I don't know what you're getting at. What do you mean the cash out? What does that mean?
Well, they give you the option to repair it or take the money instead of the repairs.
But if you take the money, the car is not going to be insured anymore.
Yeah, I
Okay.
understand that.
For
Okay,
that kind
I
of
was
damage.
going to fix it somewhere else, okay, where it's cheaper.
All right, so did you take
I
the
asked
money?
for the check. Yeah,
How much?
$6,996.
Okay, they didn't subtract the deductible.
Yes, they did. The total estimate for repairs was $7,496.
Yeah, you really need in the future a higher deductible. This you're paying way too much for insurance, and you got a bad carrier. But anyway, where are we going with this? What happened?
Well, I told them for the check. Somebody called, that lady Robin called me and says, "I see you're asking for the check. Give me a call." And then I called my agent, who's also my brother, and he called them and told them I wanted the check. You send it to me.
Yeah, your brother should have never sold you American Family. How long have you had it?
For this problem?
Yeah, no. How long have you had AmFam, American Family?
Almost 3 years, I think, or more.
Okay.
More.
Yeah, you get your face ripped off. Let's get right to the good part. Where's the problem?
Well, after a while, they keep postponing.
Did you get the money yet or
sending me
not?
the check.
That's what I need to know. Did you get the money or not?
No. After that, somebody called me, and I never talked to the original lady that was talking to me. They put another guy.
I guess I'm not going to hear the story because you just tell me about the ladies you're talking to. I need to get to the substance. Suzanne, what is it?
The agents changed. Now they want to give them less money.
Let's talk about it. Hold on, all right, Jose? I'm Tom Martino. We got more coming up, and we'll discuss cryptocurrency too, especially if you have questions or maybe some explanations. Become the banker.
I just learned a bunch about that.
You know nothing.
No, okay, so here it is. After 500,000 more Bitcoins get mined, then they have it again. Now, instead of 12.5 Bitcoins per block, you're going to get 6.25 Bitcoins per block.
What were you just saying? That might be in line with what the guy was saying, that it gets...
Yes, because you go out there, the more Bitcoins are mined, like, I don't
The
know,
less it gets released.
Then they give less
Right,
out there.
that's right. He said that. It cuts in half every year. He said that
Well, I don't know if every year or
well, he
how
said it
much.
will take the next 100 years to get to 21 million. So, you got
That's
it.
kind of cool the way just that they thought of that.
I don't know how this guy could have thought. I mean, it's
I know.
almost like, Jesus, it is more than genius.
It's these I wouldn't say these nerds, but I mean, they
It's
originally
way more than genius.
It was originally, I think, just as an idea and to play around with it. I don't think the founder ever foresaw.
I want to read his
how
white
large it is.
paper.
There
I
have been
want
a
to
group of
read his
people
white
going back
paper.
and forth.
What do I Google?
Satoshi Nakamoto. There's a great
There's
documentary
a
on
theory
Netflix.
that he's not a real person.
Yeah, there's theories that it's one person or multiple people.
It's gotta be multiple people.
But there's a great documentary called Bet on Bitcoin. It's on Netflix. I
It
think.
says it's a pseudonym. It really doesn't exist, is what they're saying.
Well, yeah, it's a pseudonym, but people have analyzed who they think who it is based on certain stuff.
Here's the white paper, bro. The white paper. Here it is. Holy shit. I want to see the white. Wait, they don't show the white paper? They're just talking about it? I want to see it. I want to read.
Says the federal government will once again start executing federal
Here it is, Tom. Here's the white paper.
Decade moratorium, the federal government will resume executing death row inmates.
Okay, this is bullshit. You can't actually see the white paper.
Schedule the executions of
really?
5 inmates.
Not that I can see on this.
In some cases, torturing and raping children and the elderly. The first of those executions are scheduled for this December.
Where is that?
If you have Netflix, watching the documentary Banking on Bitcoin is a really good one. Talks about kind of the origin and some of the bigger ideas of it and its future.
Nakamoto created a website.
Here, I got it right here.
The white paper?
Yeah.
Already?
Yeah, just Google Bitcoin white paper.
Shut up!
It's the first link.
Hey, Sean, my
it was good.
How my inspection went today over it in Bristol Way.
Okay, I did Bitcoin. What?
Yeah, just do it. Yeah, that one. That's the white paper.
Higher spending, but left fewer spending constraints on non-defense agencies and programs. It also sets aside the U.S. debt limit well beyond next year's election. Rich.
Here in North Korea today, launching a new type of short-range nuclear-capable ballistic.
But
Man,
Denver's like
Denver's
like a huge cryptocurrency, like say sanctuary.
Really?
Yeah.
You mean people mining or people?
Having companies that are based off cryptocurrencies.
That will take it.
Yeah. So there's one company called Salt
good, man. So everything looks
that does loans and uses cryptocurrencies as assets.
Really?
Yeah, they're called Salt.
This is so beyond normal.
Look at what was 19,000 dropping down to 6,000.
I don't know quite how they work and how they are able to do all that, but I know I've talked to those guys. There's a company called Shapeshift, which is a very large company based out of Boulder. They're an exchange, cryptocurrency exchange.
But geez, that's got to be tough.
This is Mark. This white paper. This white paper is not as complicated as you think. The way he describes it.
Rewards, and now when you buy or lease a
This is really well written.
points you can use toward flexible complementary maintenance that gives you, well, more freedom. Ford Pass, built to keep you moving, built Ford proud.
So there's even like we were talking about previous verse with the title. Certain counties putting
See, they're saying there is no, since it is not centralized, there is no reversing because there is no one authority to dictate it. I mean, this is so unbelievable if you think about it. That means once you're cheated, you can't like stop payment on the Bitcoin. You know, it's done.
But also, your wallet is lost. It's lost.
This white paper,
correct?
You lose that identification number.
So and that's why some of the hardcore people will actually print off certain. They're called paper wallets. So just the keys to get in, and they put it into a safe.
So what is that key? What is the length of that key?
Oh, I forget how many numbers it is.
Probably 128 bit.
I could look it up. I mean,
you mean the encryption key?
The encryption key, yeah.
It's probably at least 128 bit.
Oh,
I don't think they need more than that, do they?
I don't know.
I would say it's letters and numbers.
I would say as the system goes on, they're longer. I'd say they're longer.
A bit is 0 or 1, right?
See, in order to do fraud, you would need the cooperation of too many people, too many places where you could never coordinate it. Ever.
No, the only speculation with Bitcoin, because since it's moving to East,
256,
moving most of it all East Asia to China,
well,
is that the government decides to cut off that network.
When you say it's moving, what's moving? There's no
all the computers, all the nodes.
Yeah, I could go
force them to move.
Because that's where the cheap power is.
No, what I'm saying is that I already have. Let's say there are 1,000 nodes all over my my state. How do you get those to move?
People just stop mining here because the cost is too much. Because the cost of running the machine, you're actually not making money on it anymore.
Okay.
So that's why
it's automatically migrating due to the economics.
The biggest thing is when Bitcoin was down under 9,000 or whatever,
6,000.
It didn't make any sense to mine coins because it cost more power than what they would pay you.
I mean,
when it says power, you mean electrical
power? Yeah. So that's why you hear these people that it work. These
things have graphic cards that are fucking like this, man.
Piggybacking on their works.
Yeah, they'll just run the machine because they're not paying for the power. But even like the machines themselves, because people want to buy the most expensive graphic cards, which cost over $1,000 a piece. release.
It's the GPU.
And they'll put them in. They'll have, let's say, their special motherboards will have like 5 or 6 of them in there.
So
you've already dumped $6 grand into it.
There are computers made for mining.
Yep.
Yeah, and they have a shitload of graphic cards in them, even though
the
there's
PCI
no.
slots, yeah.
It's this GPU on the graphics cards that do all the heavy lifting.
Yeah.
Well, isn't NVDA one makes a lot of the Bitcoin?
Yeah, so NVIDIA made all the graphics cards, and that's why the past couple of years their stock has skyrocketed.
And then it went down.
It went down because the demand for mining has gone down.
Is Bitcoin the number one?
Yeah, Bitcoin's number 1. I would say Ethereum is probably number 2. Ethereum was just actually created by a private group.
Are they all written on like the Bitcoin?
Same idea. There are the idea that like all 51% of computers have to come to an agreement. That's their consensus model.
Hey Joe, are you?
There's alternatives now coming out where it uses less power. So for example, that's what we run on is not the same type of consensus model as Bitcoin.
So he needs to be there at 10:30 is when he needs.
And
to
ours
be there,
is
roughly.
a private blockchain, so only certain entities can actually be a node on it. It's not open to the public. Because if you've got big law firm X would not be happy with somebody running a node inside, in Serbia in their mom's basement.
The whole trick is to run an extension cord from your neighbor's house.
By the way, guys, these computations are not just busy work they're given. They're going back through every previous block.
Well, Dan, that's the whole thing. Dan read an article.
That's why it's getting longer and longer and harder each transaction.
If you want your transaction done in 10 minutes, like if I'm transferring to you, it costs X amount. If you want your transaction done in an hour, it costs less.
So miners get that plus their Bitcoin.
That's pretty cool, actually.
This is a troubleshooter.
Longer chains are given more credibility.
I didn't realize it was that cheap for a transaction.
I guess that would make sense, huh? I guess I'm still curious what.
Hello, I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. This is truly the only show of its kind anywhere. If you have any questions on Bitcoins or digital currency, give us a call. Cryptocurrency, because we don't know it all, but it's a great place to discuss. Perhaps you're an authority on it. And it all started with our common man today, an attorney who came in to say hi, Pearson, and he's a good guy, man. He's like he's got a baby on the way too, and he looks like 17 himself, but he's not. If you're online, you can see. Live on Facebook, live on YouTube as well. 303-713-TALK. Jose's got a problem. American Family Insurance first told him they're going to cash him out of his car for the damage at $7 grand. Not total the car, but just pay him for the damage, and he's going to get it fixed. Now they're saying it's worth less. I guess they can do that. I mean, you didn't have a contract with him. So it's worth, here's the good part. It's worth what it's worth, Jose. So, Jose, let's talk.
Yes.
They say, how much now is that damage worth?
The damage now, whatever they want to give me now is, well, they want me to give them my car for total damage because.
Okay, so they are going to total it. They are going to total it.
Yes.
How much
Yes,
are they going to give you?
They want to, if I want to keep the car, now they want to give me $4,892.
Okay. Okay. Now I understand that. They're not offering you less money. They're saying they're going to total the car. What year is the car?
It's a 210.
210 what?
Toyota Avalon.
They're saying it's not worth. They're saying that car is worth approximately. I got to figure it out. They're saying it's worth approximately $9,500. Therefore, the $7,000 bill is not worth fixing it. They should pay you and just total the car. So they're saying, let's say about $9,000. That's what they're saying the car's worth.
Yeah.
So if you give them the car, how much are they going to give you?
$8,252.
Oh, $8,200. Okay. So that's what they're saying the car's worth. But for you to keep it, they're going to give you $48,000. Is that right?
Yes, pretty much about that.
Okay. So now what you have to consider is negotiating. They didn't go back on their word. I mean, they just said they're going to total the car, and they should. So anyway, Why don't you just take the 8,200 and move on?
Yeah, I can do that, but my problem is that at the beginning they were going to give me that money when I opted.
No, they weren't. No, somebody mistakenly told you that, but they'll never
Okay,
give.
okay, so
they would never
that's what I
give
wanna
you
know.
if the car's not worth it. They're not going to give it to you. Unfortunately, you were told that, and I believe you. But that doesn't mean you're going to get it. But what I like to do is I like to check numbers. So if you take the 8,200 they're going to give you, they're saying you have a $1,000 deductible, so really they're giving you 92. Do you understand that?
Okay.
They're giving you 92 because that's what the car's worth, because you have to add in your 1,000 deductible. So if you subtract 48.92, right? That's what you're getting. They're saying the car worth right now is 43.08. Do you get that?
Yeah.
In its current condition. So if it's worth 43.08, see, that's damaged. The 8,200 they're giving you is replacement.
Yeah.
Okay. So if it's worth 43.08, then you have to do the math. You have to do the math. You take 43.08 and add to it damages that it takes to fix. And if you can fix it for under 82, they're really treating you, or under 92, they're treating you fairly. This seems to me like fair pricing. It does. As much as I hate your company, American Family, it doesn't sound like they're being unfair to you.
Yeah, I understand that.
So what is your concern? What is your concern?
My concern? No,
Yeah.
I understand that they keep postponing sending the check. And then when I took the car, I think they deceived me because they say, bring it back. That way we can give you more money. But they didn't take pictures of the hail them. They were taking pictures of the inside of the car, the motor and everything. But I mean, if that's what you think they should do, then I believe what you say.
I don't think you're being treated unfairly, if you ask for my opinion. Reed, what's going on with you? Hello, Reed. I'm Tom Martino.
Tom, I got just a quick story for you with Publisher Clearinghouse.
What happened?
2 days ago, I got a call from them, and they said I had won the grand prize, $2.5 million, and to get my bank and my bank account number and push number 1, and they would call me back. So yesterday he called me back, and he said, do you have your what bank do you have? And I said, well, I just got to ask you, if you're aware of Tom Martino, I said, he recommended that I not go through my bank, just deliver it to my house. And he said, F you, you smart ass.
Oh, that's too bad. Okay, listen. Clint, did you call Schomp?
Yes. Linda, if you will go to them, they will issue as many temporaries as they need until they get this title in. They paid off the lien. You don't have to pay anything. Maryland's just real slow about it doing their paperwork.
Linda?
Okay.
So, technically, however, even though they said they will give you as many temporaries as needed and they paid off the lien, the law says if they can't give you title in a reasonable amount of time, they have to undo the deal. So what is reasonable? You bought this when, did you say, in January?
Yeah.
I think it's unreasonable. Now, that doesn't mean you must go and demand your money back, but you probably could. I mean, you know, I think it's unreasonable 6 months. Suzanne?
But wouldn't they charge her for use?
You know, that's going to be the rub. Can they charge her for use? That's a toss-up. Bailment. I think they... Did you finance this, Linda?
Yes.
Was it approved?
Yes.
How could that be approved when you don't even have security interest? I don't know how
I don't know.
Who arranged the financing? Did Schomp?
Yes.
Ask Schomp that question. If you want your money back, I would go back and say, look, it's not a reasonable amount of time I want my money back. I think you're well within your rights, in my opinion, you know, based on what I would do. Well within them. Now, then if they say, well, you know, give you the runaround, say, exactly how did you get it financed? Did you get a payment coupon book, Linda? Have you been making payments?
Yeah.
You've been making monthly payments to who?
Sunflower.
Well, somehow they're ripping off Sunflower, in my opinion, because Sunflower, I'd call Sunflower. And I'd say, do you have a security agreement? I know I'm probably signed a promissory note, but your security agreement means nothing because I don't have title of the car. If you really want to stir it up, that's what you do. 303-713-TALK. Listen, we want to get school supplies for children. Could you please donate? Here's what we want you to do. If you have any questions or if you want to donate cash, email us, help@troubleshooter.com. Or you can bring by school supplies. Do we have a box somewhere?
We do, Tom.
Okay.
And it's for the kids that live in weekly hotels in Denver.
Yeah, and it's being sponsored by Pastor Lauren and his church, so we love Pastor Lauren's work. You drop it off at iHeart on East Union and Monaco, So please either drop them off or email us if you want to learn more, help@troubleshooter.com.
This report is sponsored by Furniture Row.
I still have an update on Pack Rat, too.
What's that?
Update on Pack Rat.
Oh, okay. Let me put it down.
Pearson, if you have $1 million transaction or a $20 transaction,
Sure.
fees the same.
Is it?
Is it? I'm asking. Do you know?
Well, I know there's a transaction fee you get, and there is also release of Bitcoin.
Right.
Because the idea is once all the Bitcoins are released, the incentive still. I don't know.
Is it varied as far as?
I think so. Yeah, it's got to be.
I got that.
Because I've been charged different fees when I've done my exchange.
But like say, if you have $1 million transaction or a $20 transaction.
I don't think it's a flat fee. I think there's a percentage. I think. Don't quote me on it.
I
just know that.
This one says the transaction is based on time. The fee is based on time.
Well, yeah, but there's got to be an amount too. You want
Guys, mic on. IdealHomeLoans.com. If you are looking for a direct mortgage lender that guarantees everything up front in writing and promises a quick close, most of the time 3 weeks or less, you need Ideal Home Loans. And if you do their pre-approval, it's exactly like a cash deal to the seller. They'll put your contract to the top. Yes, that's what you do. You ask for a pre-approval. You're done. All you really need is title work and an appraisal. That's IdealHomeLoans.com. They also have the interest rate guarantee. Think about it. You're protected. If interest rates go down even 0.75% over the next 2 years, they refinance you free of charge. So basically, you get another 2 years after that. You're always in a guarantee. IdealHomeLoans.com, 303-867-7000. That's 303-867-7000. IdealHomeLoans.com.
I got that Publishers Clearinghouse call on Tuesday.
Is that?
They wanted my credit card number. Came from Orlando, Florida.
Which one was it? The Publishers
Clearinghouse. They wanted my credit card number to pay for the.
Get rich. What do you
Yeah.
Come on. Can I buy in on that?
Yeah, they wanted my Visa number to pay for the overnighting of the check to me.
Well, okay, I'll pay for the order.
I recently sold a TV on Craigslist, and I probably had 4 or 5 checks. Fake checks sent to me.
Oh yeah.
Just for fun. I have a PO box. I just had them send them there.
It's getting ridiculous.
But they must have to spend some money because I had one guy resend it to me because I said he spelled my name wrong.
Good job.
But they're
good. I like that.
Yeah.
The way you really screw with them and stuff.
Craigslist is
How do they send it? Overnight?
They overnight it.
Ooh, that's how we should do that. Scam the scammers.
Yeah. Oh.
I had them send me, and they don't know who I am. It's a fake name and stuff.
They even send it to your fake name.
Fake name and fake. Well, I have a PO box, so I don't know.
We should do that, Tom. Do a PO box and just constantly do the scamming things, and
it's
Craigslist
really
has gotten
bad.
ridiculous.
I mean, what they're getting.
I use Facebook Marketplace now.
I posted everything. I posted that. Let Go.
Yeah.
What's up and.
I haven't tried Let Go. Boy,
we can
Craigslist has gotten ridiculous.
Yeah. Craigslist is the worst. I would say.
That's good.
I can't seem to get anything on there without having some scam.
Yeah, but
come back.
we're not really scamming.
I don't know whose list I'm on, but I
just wasting their time and money.
Well, wasting their time and money, which is kind of a scam.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's their most valuable asset is time.
Have you seen where some of these calls come?
Sending overnight. That's great. I didn't realize that.
I had one guy. Most people won't send the second check, but I had one guy send it twice.
And then this guy, if you read Joe's explanation, it's wonderful.
What's wonderful?
On that problem we had.
Oh, I didn't read it.
Yeah, yeah.
Send it to me. I want to see it.
Oh, no, I imagine he would send it to both. Let me look. If not, I'll give it to you.
No, I didn't see it.
Does it say on your what it comes FedEx or whatever and stuff?
It's USPS.
So like
and FedEx.
It must said how much on the USPS. How much?
Yeah.
How much? $10?
$10 about, yeah.
Oh, we didn't save one here.
If we can get them to $10 a time.
But I mean, the checks are always, from like it's always some company, some weird source. They look really good, like certified checks, but they're not.
Just something with the building, another fucking issue.
What stage are you in?
I mean, the formula is post something that's electronic to Craigslist. It doesn't have to be real.
You've been doing
I got one that was
most of the offers are all fake, I guess.
Right.
But something of a large value, though.
You did a TV.
So you're just
I sold the TV
starting
on
the
there.
foundation.
These TVs are so cheap, because usually there's a limit that these scammers go after, like a $500.
It's got to be something expensive, like a buy
When is it gonna be done?
above.
What?
I posted for $400 or something a TV.
The erection will take a week and a half.
Box.
So how long does it take
Did
for
you
the
get the check
concrete?
that was for
and then
too
he's
much
gotta
and you were
backfill
supposed to send it
inside?
out?
Yeah, that was I'm assuming I didn't get that far. I just said, I got the check. You spelled my name. Actually, what happened was I gave him a fake name and I gave him a wrong spelling, so I used the word Allen. And he sent it like A-L-L-E-N. I said, I meant to say A-L-A-N, and the bank won't take it. But
so you made him do it twice.
Does it say where they came from? Can you find out?
Well, yeah. So it's funny because the check is issued out of this real company out of it was out of Michigan, but the post office came from the first one for the same check came from North Carolina, and the other one came from New Jersey.
Do you know how to be aggressive? Like in the law, are you pretty good at that? Do you consider
You know the IRS scam thing?
What do you mean?
Those calls?
Like
they
the
said
thought of
tell me they're coming from Russia.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Lines are completely open. I'm going to go to the mailbag, but I want you to call 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255, and I'm going to get my sound effects ready here because I might need them. So listen, we're talking Bitcoin. If you have any knowledge of Bitcoin or have used them or own them, give us a call, please. 303-713-TALK, especially if you're mining them. 303-713-8255. You know, you have to run computers a long time to get a Bitcoin, and the power might just make it not feasible at all because of the computing power. You just lose money. That's why they're moving to other countries, these servers.
How about when you buy a Bitcoin? Forget about mining, or if I'm a merchant and I accept a Bitcoin, how do I turn it back into dollars?
So the process to purchase Bitcoins is going to be through an exchange, and there's multiple exchanges out there. One of the more popular ones is called Coinbase. I've done some transactions with them, and you can hook it up to your personal bank account or go through a credit card.
How long does it take? Like if I wanted to liquidate 50 Bitcoins, when do I see my $150,000?
I think it's going to depend on the exchange and how large it is. And also we're going to assume that you're already registered to the exchange because there's a process to make sure that you're a real person. But it can take probably I think one Bitcoin's about 10 minutes now to process. So I think one of the benefits of cryptocurrencies is not is also the time of exchanging money. So traditionally right now, if we need to send money overseas, it's through a wire transfer, and that's very costly, along with can take several days. So for example, I had to send money to for work to some Brazilians. They said about a third of that money would have gone to fee exchanges and the government, just trying to send a relatively smaller amount of money, and it could take up to 2 weeks for that money to actually go through.
Oh my goodness!
So
time is an enemy of crypto.
I think it can be an enemy or a benefit. I mean, a couple of weeks is so 10 minutes.
And it's not reversible, right?
Correct. It's not. It's an unreversible transaction.
Yeah, and that is for sure. There's no reversing and there's no cheating. And now I know why. There are so many computers doing the same transactions. If they don't agree, they're kicked out. And the ones who keep the longest history of transactions are considered more credible. So it's really quite ingenious. And the white paper is not as cerebral as I imagined. It's pretty understandable. This white paper that you just Google it, Bitcoin, or whatever. What was it? Bitcoin white paper or which? Yeah, Bitcoin white paper. Satoshi Nakamoto. And we don't know if that's a person that really exists, but what a brilliant paper explaining this and the reason for it. Hey, Kathleen, what's going on with you?
Hi, Tom.
Hi.
I've heard you talk about your lens replacements.
Yes, clear lens. Yes, the clear lens, by the way, is simply it's simply cataract surgery. But you have clear. That's exactly what it is. But you put in lenses that focus, as opposed to lenses that are either near or far. It's nothing more than cataracts. But here's the deal.
Oh.
But what do you mean?
I was looking at PRK. Because
okay, but Kathleen, let me explain something, because you said in such a way that I want to make this clear. It is cataract surgery. However, you can elect to have the surgery at any time. You don't have to have cataracts. I had nothing wrong with my lenses except I had poor vision close up. I decided I wanted perfect vision. So I got a clear lens exchange and paid for it because I did not have cataracts. Had I had cataracts, insurance would have paid for cataracts, and I would have paid the additional upgrade price for the focusable lenses. So it's important to note that. So I went for that surgery. Now, PRK, why would you ever want PRK and not LASIK?
Well, I've heard a lot of things bad about LASIK. Everybody that I know has their vision within a few years. They don't guarantee perfect vision for the rest of their life.
Kathleen, you are so uninformed with this. Of course they're not going to guarantee pure vision for the rest of your life. If God gave you brand new lenses you had from a baby, they're going to deteriorate with time. There is no perfect vision except artificial vision, which is a clear lens exchange. Here's what here's what LASIK or PRK or any of them do. PRK will be worse than LASIK. What it does is reshapes your lens. It reshapes your lens to refract light in a different way so you can now focus. So, if that happens, your lens will still continue to age. And when it does, whether you've had LASIK, PRK, or any other reshaping technology, your vision will change. So when you hear, oh my goodness, they don't guarantee vision for life, of course they don't. Neither does PRK, because you are reshaping the lens for the way it is now. It will continue to age. A clear lens exchange is totally artificial. The lens will never age, will never get brittle, will never stop focusing, will never develop cataracts. Okay, so that's the ultimate. However, if you just need minor adjustments on your eye, you would want to have LASIK, of course. I mean, because to have
the thing is I am very, very nearsighted. I've had gas perm lenses for 30 years. I'd have to take them out. You know, if I did either procedure for 3 months,
of course,
be on my glasses, and I want to get rid of the
how
contact.
old are you?
I want something. 40-something.
Okay.
So
listen,
I'm
I would get a clear lens exchange. Then you'd have perfect.
Clear lens exchange probably sounds like something I'd want to do over the LASIK or the PRK.
Of course, you would. And talk to them. They will sit there and they will give you a free exam. They will do everything and tell you all the options at Icon.
Now, here's the deal. The difference, PRK is just the difference is just in part of the procedure. Okay, they're both based on laser. With LASIK, a thin flap is created on the cornea. Okay, and then the flap is lifted. So with PRK, I think they just work on the eye itself for vision correction. I don't think they do the flap and work beneath. So the first step is the only difference. But call a doctor and ask about it. But don't get either of them if you're looking for more. In your age, you're going to find in 4 or 5 years you need glasses.
Oh, I already wear glasses.
No, I mean after you get it corrected, it's only going to last.
I know, and I don't want that. I don't want to be in glasses or contacts again. If I'm going to do it and spend that much money, I want it to be, something that's going to last for a while.
Well, good. I'm glad you called. You want a clear lens exchange. That's exactly what you want. And, man, I mean, I have 2015 vision that won't change. So you figure it out. 303-713-TALK. Let's talk to Chris. Chris, what's going on?
Hey, Tom, we've got a cabin with mountain property, and I want to buy one of these 20-foot, seaworthy shipping containers to put up there. But all I'm finding is people online or on the internet that are brokers, where you have to pay for it, and they set up delivery, but you don't get to see the container. I'm wondering if there's anybody who knows of anybody local who stocks.
You know what? I don't know anybody who stocks them, but I'm sure it can't be that difficult. You're talking about the shipping containers, the corrugated steel?
Yep.
They're usually clay-colored or gray?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you Googled it locally?
I have, but everybody I talk to is same. They're all
They're just brokers. And what is the rub you have with brokers, let's say, if they're legit?
Well, again, I'm looking at quality of the containers, and then I've read some stuff where, you order it, you pay for it. And again, I would only pay for it with a charge card.
Here's
so
what I would do. Here's what I would do. I would go and talk to someone or call American Furniture Warehouse or a big granite place or a big people who deal with containers every day. Buy and build. Talk to Courtney up there and say, Martino told me to call you. And he may very well know where to buy containers. Now, he may just use them for shipping. In other words, it comes with the shipment. They come and pick it up afterwards. But he may know people or people who do this a lot. I would talk to them. I don't know. And maybe someone listening, that's really the value of the show is our listener base. When we talk about things, we learn because somebody listening right now knows where to buy a shipping container. They do. And let's just put it out there. If anyone knows, if you can give me a call at...
I know someone that built a retail store in one. So do you.
Yeah.
Do you remember who?
303-713-TALK if you know how to find a shipping container. Who's a retail store?
The guy that used to do the rescreenings and everything, and then he went off on a mission for years.
Oh, that's his store?
He had a storefront. What was the name of that company?
5280 Window Glass and Screen
5280 Windows, yep. You'd walk into there, and it was a shipping container, and he had all
That's where he did his stuff?
It was incredible. If you brought it to him, yep.
So, was it his factory where they
No, it was like a little, kind of like a little retail store.
Okay. Chris, be listening. I'm sure we're going to get an answer from someone on where to buy a shipping container. 303-713-TALK. And whether you have a problem, question, or complaint, or maybe you want to talk Bitcoins or cryptocurrency, give us a call.
This is Denver's Talk Station with Dan Kaplis at 4. More with Tom Martino coming up on 630 KHOW.
Yeah, this guy's was pretty cool. He sent me pictures of it.
It
wasn't, I didn't mean retail, it was more of a showroom.
They also have a kit to take 4 of them on end and make a control tower.
To do what?
Can you put a staircase in?
Yeah, yes, they do.
Oh, an elevator.
To put them on end?
They stack 4 of them on end because they can stack them.
But why would you want to? I mean, who would buy them?
They put a control tower cab on top. It's a kit for an airport.
For a little airport.
Your own airport.
I know it's a silly way to do it, but we found when we were looking for a control tower, we found kits.
No, I have heard of shipping containers where you buy one and it comes in there and it's like, what the hell? It's all rusty. It's all
Was this guy looking to buy a used or new?
They're all used.
I don't think you can buy new. Well, you probably could buy new.
Because like my in-laws live out in the mountains, and someone near them built a house out of shipping containers.
They bought new ones?
Yeah, they had to under the code required them to buy brand new shipping containers.
Wait a minute, but when you have a shipping container, then you insulate on the inside and build a wall?
I would assume so.
They come at 40 foot.
David Salisbury deals in what you call inevitable law. Wills, trusts, special needs trusts, probate. If you have a sudden need, you don't know what to do, call David for advice. He'll gladly do an initial consultation at no charge. Better yet, if you want to plan ahead, call him. He does everything on a flat rate basis, and that means just a flat rate for everything. Like a will is a certain price, under $1,000, sometimes around $500 or $600, depending on how complicated it is. He can do trusts, and of course, he'll take care of your probate, or if you want to do a beneficiary's deed, call him 720-493-3911. So many people have said, you know what? I understand exactly what I need to do and when I need to do it after just one phone call. Did you know that sometimes going to probate is desirable, sometimes not? Talk to David Salisbury, attorney at law, 720-493-3911.
Dan, when they're doing fracking, have you ever seen those shipping containers? They weld them shut and they convert them into water storage? Because they can stack them. They have to have
it wasn't when I was in the.
They have to have millions of gallons of water.
Oh yeah, as part of this endorsement, this guy wants me to
take shipping containers and they weld them shut.
Try to what?
A treatment. It's really blood doping. Okay,
what guy?
In there. So
the guy that does it, the healthcare provider.
The clinic.
It's called blood doping. You know, the technology is sound. If it was oxygen, you know, they take some blood out, run oxygen through it, put it back in your body. If that was the case, I would do it hands down, right? I mean, that's what Lance Armstrong got in trouble for. I mean, blood doping does nothing but enhance performance. And there's no law against it. If you just want to enhance your work attitude, you're a peak athletic club. Nobody's going to cite me for it. I'm not planning on entering professional race. But it's not blood doping with oxygen. It's blood doping with ozone. Now, everywhere I read, ozone is a carcinogen when inhaled. When breathed, it does damage. It's bad for you. This guy claims when it's put into your blood, however, the harmful part of ozone is not absorbed, and only the good attributes are, which is a lot of oxygen and other things.
This place converts them right
but
there.
But it scares the shit out of me. I don't know if I want to introduce ozone to my bloodstream. I mean, we're talking about direct infusion of ozone. Would you do it?
And then they bring a hole in the water and fill them up.
Yeah, they also use them to store that stuff that goes in with the fracking. The beads,
which is fucking
bioidentical. Well, they said beads.
That's if it's fake. Or I'm sorry, fake.
Ozone comes out of the back of your tailpipe, so.
Yeah, so those are the high strength profit.
I don't know.
No, ozone will kill you if you breathe it.
Sure. That's why we have the ozone days here when we get to bad smog.
That's all they use.
Is what Sam?
But
this was
putting
beads.
it directly into your bloodstream scaring me a little bit.
Or maybe
I don't know
the
science behind it.
When you say beads,
look up ozone infusion.
Have Dan do it first.
Look up ozone infusion.
Listen, we want you to try something. It's perfectly safe. Don't ask questions. Don't worry.
Just do it?
Just do it.
And
then report back to us
it up.
if you can still talk.
We all know ozone is poisonous, ozone.
Yes.
But these fuckers are doping blood with it.
How do you dope blood by taking oxygen out?
You don't take oxygen out. It has 3 parts oxygen.
O3.
Well,
Ozone's
yeah,
O3.
but ozone's O1.
That's O3.
No, it isn't. No,
oh, no, I'm sorry, it's O3. You're right. It has an extra one.
Yeah, it's extra oxygen molecule.
Does the extra one...
ozone therapy is that?
That's what
I'm talking about.
But the extra one peels off into the blood.
Ozone, look, I don't know. I fucking don't know.
I know you can't breathe O3.
No, it'll kill you.
Yeah.
But we use it to purify water.
Yeah.
We use it to get rid of smells.
Yep. That's what I have it for.
Okay, but when we get rid of smells with it, then why aren't we breathing it? Or does it go? Does it?
Oh, I put it in the car when there's nobody in there or house is nobody. Okay. You don't put it in a room with you.
No.
It smells bad on itself.
I'll have this. You want to have this done and track your performance? It's an ozone infusion. Don't automatically think it's going to kill you.
Is the ozone generator?
Don't automatically think
No, look at the. Look at it first.
Quit asking questions, Dan. Just go fucking do it, man. It's not like anything bad.
I'll be straight with you, man. I'm not sure I want to. I'm usually a good guinea pig.
They look like they do it a lot for AIDS and HIV.
You can get ozone sauna system.
It does. No. Now why would you ever do that?
Ozone what?
Sauna system.
What? How do you block it from your lungs?
Well, you've got your head sticking out of it.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God! Look at this thing.
You wear an ozone suit?
No, you get into the machine.
Oh, when you're hit. Okay.
It makes you 20 years younger.
Yeah, right.
That woman right there is 97.
She's 97. Here, look at her. Those are real and they're spectacular.
But is Chris the one that asked for the containers, or has he been from? Oh, good. Okay. You know, Suzanne says she's getting a lot of suggestions on where to buy shipping containers. So, I can't wait, Suzanne, to hear some of them. 303-713-TALK. We've talked about cryptocurrency and blockchains. And you got to go back through the show if you want to put all this together, because I don't want to recap everything. But in essence, computers
There's a network of computers where you volunteer to be part of it, and you volunteer to do calculations and store blockchains of transactions which validate cryptocurrency. So it keeps people from double spending and duplicating illegally these coins. So in essence, when a transaction is done, all of these computers track that specific Bitcoin or number of Bitcoins back through the blockchains to make sure it legitimately belongs to the bearer and that it can be used in the transaction. Once that's done, it can never be reversed because there's too many computers that have a record of it. You'd have to coordinate every single one of them. That's what gives credence to crypto. However, what gives value to it? What gives value to it is that there is a limited number. There will never be more than 21 million. 17 million has been mined or have been mined, and the additional will take, they say, another 100 years because it gets more and more complicated and less crypto is released. So if you can't mine crypto, how do you make crypto? By transaction fees. If your computer is on the network, you will get small transaction fees for every transaction your computer helps process. So far, so good, right? However, is it a currency or is it a representation of value based on American currency? That's really what it is. In and of itself, is it a currency? Well, our guests say he doesn't represent this. He just dabbles in it and dabbles in blockchain technology. His name is Pearson. He's an attorney. But Pearson, you're saying in some countries where they don't really even have a reliable currency, it's not relying on anything.
Correct. There's examples of Zimbabwe where their currency was next to nothing, where people had wheelbarrows of cash to try to buy a loaf of bread. You had, during the economic crisis, you had Greece, whose the value of their currency went down and people didn't have faith in the government. So I think the cryptocurrency answers a couple of questions. One is when you don't trust your government holding your money, where I believe the Greeks, where people would go to the ATMs to try to withdraw money and they couldn't. And second, you live in a place where that currency is worth next to nothing, and you want to be able to have commerce and transact.
But then at the same time, cryptocurrency is worth what it's demanded. So if people stop using it or migrate from it, it will lose value, right? I mean, it will.
Correct, yeah. I mean, and that's also how our current fiat system works.
Except there is no other currency competing with our fiat. So it's not like the United States of America is competing with Georgia or Texas with their own currency because people might choose another currency. And that's where I fear crypto is you have Bitcoin, but now you have how many different currency exchanges or cryptocurrency exchanges do we have?
There's probably hundreds of thousands of different...
Not exchanges, but systems.
Are you talking about crypto...
Systems.
Currencies themselves?
Yeah.
There's thousands of them out there.
Now think, thousands of cryptocurrencies. So which one become the standard?
Some places simply don't allow them. China, Russia, you get caught trying to mine those things, you know, those places don't... They frown upon it, let's put it that way.
But there's also, these coins can be used for different things, not just for an exchange of value. They can be used as a utility coin or almost as a security interest of owning maybe part of a company or real estate. Those are ideas, and the government's hashing that out right now about what is a Bitcoin, what's the value at it. If the SEC looks at this completely different than the IRS.
303-713-8255 is our number. If you have a comment or a question on crypto or anything else, you have a follow-up. So let's talk about that. The original problem had to do with moving. Deputy Clint, what happened?
Wendy's, everything they owned was out on the lawn, and the pod didn't show up.
Yeah, now listen to this. The day of moving it doesn't show up. I mean, they didn't let her know a few days in advance. This can cost people a lot, and you have to find something in a hurry. What did you do?
Well, I called PackRat. The one that was supposed to come to them didn't return, but they scrambled around after we called, and they got one to them by the end of the day.
That is so cool. Really, that made all the difference. I mean, think about this. This woman had nowhere to turn. She called, and we put some pressure on it, and Deputy Clint was able to encourage them to scramble. And they found another pack rat location.
They found another pod wherever they got it, but they got it to
that is
to their front
cool.
door.
I hope. Good. So she was able to get her stuff in the pod. How does that work? Do you load your own pod and it's moved? Do you know, or do they do everything?
You can do it any way you want. You can have it delivered. You load it. This case, they're going to load it, and then they're going to have it stored for a while before they actually have it moved.
I love the idea of pods where you can move as you want, and then once it's done, you pack it up and take it away. I think it's a cool idea, especially if you didn't want to move over like just a couple hours. You wanted to do it over a few days.
This report is sponsored by Furniture Row.
Hey, how do those scooters downtown work? Does anybody know? Do you just fucking grab one and go?
It's an app through your phone. I've never used one, but
they're everywhere. Can I just get on one and go?
Why don't people steal them? So you download the app. You have your app. The app's hooked up to a credit card, and you go up to one, and I believe there's a number.
What if I just get on one and go?
They're not. They won't work.
You can't
activate the app makes it work?
Yep.
How?
Well,
cell phone.
You got to send in. You get this.
And it charges to your phone. Then it charges your
yeah. So you usually get charged like it's $1 to rent, and then like 10 cents a mile or something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Man, they're
Who plugs them in?
The companies. So because they all have GPS trackers on them,
but
and they can only go out a certain
radius.
radius.
You go down there on a weekend, they're everywhere. There's hundreds of them.
I love
so the company goes around and finds it and plugs it in?
Well, they pick them up. Yeah. So at nighttime, they'll pick them all up, take them back, charge them, and they'll drop them back off at places.
Like cell cleaning services.
Well, they just
obviously it's a money making model because there's probably.
Let's talk about getting your house cleaned. I almost hate giving out the name because I hope they just stay mine. You know, Mark and Suzanne, okay, I turned them on to this service, Excel Services. It is absolutely the very best house cleaning service anywhere. They'll even power wash the garage, the storage shed, whatever. They'll do windows. They'll do minor repairs, drywall repair. They do it all. No contracts. You want a regular cleaning, you do it. You want a deep clean just once and you want to get out of there, fine. You want bi-weekly, you have custom cycles. Think about it. And they use all of their own supplies. It is the best. ExcelServicesNetwork.com. 303-683-3470. 303-683-3470.
I've noticed there's more than one company that does it.
I bet they don't make fucking
the scooters.
No way.
Oh yeah.
Now I gotta research the company.
Maybe half a dozen.
Okay, because I see different colors, different models.
Right? I mean, who cares?
Oh, they're a hazard.
They are. I've almost been hit by
What's that?
several of them.
The scooters?
Yeah, the scooters.
I know they run red lights. They run down the sidewalk. They run down the one-way streets the wrong way.
I mean, they're very because the people are on the sidewalk in Denver and they're going very quick and you can likely get injured by them.
Yeah.
Certain cities, I think, are making like lanes and stuff for them now.
That's
so popular.
That's real cheap. Or they gotta ride in the bike lane, maybe.
How about people just outright stealing them?
Yeah, so there's actually.
How about throwing them in the
talking
lane?
Don't bother me with
I've seen that.
Probably a GPS tracker.
So San Francisco.
Someone drained a thing and they found or maybe it was they found a bunch of them.
If you search in like San Francisco, there's a bunch of the homeless people that are hot wiring them.
Of course, that people are going to try to steal them.
They can.
Or just the batteries out of them.
Yeah. But I guess it's just the cost of doing business. I mean,
I'm sure they're subsidized by Denver. I would.
There's like a half a dozen of them.
Well, I was down there, a whole pack of them come down a one-way street the wrong way.
Two different kinds?
Yeah.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, they're obviously. I mean, unless it's one of these.
How about the Cardigo?
I was just going to ask that. Is that still going? The Cardigo and stuff?
It's still in Denver, but I don't. Denver's the greatest city.
Those half cars.
Those half cars.
I've never seen cars.
And they
the
park
same thing as the same thing as the other one.
Yeah, and they can park anywhere. They made a deal with Denver. They can park anywhere.
Right.
So they used to be smart cars. Now they're Mercedes that they do.
But they're still the smart.
So yeah, it's basically a car rental company through a phone app. That's really what it is.
I think it's cool. You leave it anywhere you want, pick it up anywhere you want.
Yeah. As long as one's in the area.
Yeah, but the app shows you where they are.
And you can charge.
God, I love the internet. I love technology. It's just all so wonderful.
They probably have it now, Tom, where they with the self-driving, they would say, "Hey, I need one."
I need one. Yeah.
Yeah. Boom, boom, boom. It shows up at your door and you get in it.
God, I can't find anything.
As bad as parking is downtown, all those things are great ideas.
Lyft does one.
How
One's
do they
called
charge
Lime.
them though?
They pick them up at night.
They come around each night and grab them.
They throw them in a truck and they go charge them and they go put them
God,
back
that
out.
can't be price effective, cost effective.
I can't find anything.
And I wonder how many of them are
profitability.
stolen, you know, but they track them.
They track them, yeah, and they will shut down if you go out a certain radius.
Okay, so in other words, even if you steal them, there's no incentive.
Yeah, because it just won't function.
Yeah,
unless you take them to a shop that's outside where they can't track them anymore, because it needs to be within cell phone service.
Some of the shopping carts have a wheel lock on them now if they go very far.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, have you ever been in a golf cart, like on a golf range, where if you start going too far off,
that seems
they
mean to
they'll
homeless
shut themselves down?
No, my balls will.
I was at a fancy country club once, and it just felt like it was in like in a subdivision, and you started trying to go in somebody's yard, it was shut down.
Well, I took my own golf cart.
Did you know that
I've got one that's like a monster.
they can geofence golf carts
Yeah.
so you won't drive in people's yards? That's incredible.
What?
I guess most
The only
yards
thing
have
we were
fences
talking about
around
is
them.
who-
No,
like the
golf
those
courses
for
don't
TV.
allow them most of the time. They don't
country
want.
club.
Hell no, they want them open. They don't put fences in golf carts.
I mean, they'll put houses almost like
Maybe
right
I
up on the
missed
fairway.
the cheap places.
Not on good golf. No, really. When people live on beautiful golf courses, if you're off the golf course and border it, but if you're on the golf course, that's all open.
It's open to your back door.
And as far as I know, you're not allowed. Well, I know where I am. You can't put them. You can't fence it. Who do we have
There we
now?
go.
Oh.
I would hate to live on a golf
I don't think they're
My friend that
publicly
lives in a
traded.
golf course in Arizona gets windows broken constantly.
They're real strict about fencing,
But
man.
do you live on a golf course though?
Yes.
You like it?
Well, no, I'm across the street on
Okay,
purpose.
okay.
But what I meant is in my neighborhood,
Right.
none of them are on.
I would hate to have that. Here you can't go in the backyard without people walking by.
That's
looking
right.
at you.
Yeah.
That's
I
exactly.
would
And
hate
I
that.
was on 2 golf courses where I was fenced because I wasn't on. I mean, I bordered them.
Yeah.
Well, no, I actually was part of that other one, but I don't know. I had a fence. It was their beautiful fence.
But you can't walk outside naked.
And you're right. We would be out at the pool, and golfers are coming by.
I
That's
would
right.
hate that.
That's right.
I would just,
That's exactly right. You're right, Jerry. Hi, I'm Tom Martino. Approval Reverse. That company, Approval Reverse Mortgage, is the only one I would use for a reverse loan. First, they'll tell you if it's not apropos, or they'll structure it for your benefit if you need cash, you want to use the equity of your home for extra security, or just how about just a line of credit just in case. 303-771-3528. 771-3528. Just remember approval. Just look for approval on my referral list at referralist.com. Kathy, what's happening? Kathy?
Hello?
Hey.
Yes, Tom. Hey, Tom, before I give you my issue, could I tell you how great I think your show is?
Thank you. I love that.
Well, it's been 40 years, and I've been listening to you since
Wow.
Carla with a K.
Yeah.
Do you remember Carla with
Yeah,
a K?
Carla,
And,
yeah.
So anyway, I think you're great.
Thank you very much. I really mean that, Kathy. So what's happening?
It's not a problem, but I need your advice.
Okay.
I want to get a camper van, maybe on one of the new van bases. And I know you're a big RV person.
Yeah, well, now, actually, I used to be. I mean, I was into them forever, and then Mark's into them now. But you know, Century RV, and I don't mean to plug them, but I do. They're great people, man. They're great people.
Okay.
And I would go. They have like huge discounts on stuff, but they have those Class Bs, those vans.
Okay.
But why did you decide on those vans?
Because I needed to travel back and forth from where I live the other half of the year.
Where's that?
In South Carolina.
Okay. Have you looked at? I mean, there are some gorgeous new ones. Holy crap! The ones made by Mercedes, the Sprinter. Woo! Have you ever looked?
I know. But now they're so popular that there are dozens of companies.
Oh yeah, there are. The Sprinters are like 70 grand, aren't they?
Oh no, they're more than that. They're a lot more.
No, I see some for 70 or under. But hold on now. Anyway, what is your question? Let's get to that.
My question is just advice on maybe a great brand, a great You already gave me a great dealership.
Let's talk about that. Brands. I never actually looked into the Class B brands because there you have two things to consider, okay? And really with motorhomes you do too. And seldom do people truly consider these things. First you have the chassis and the drivetrain. Then you have the living quarters. Well, one or the other. It's critical to have both. That's why you need to know your drivetrain. Don't be fooled by any name they give it, because they might buy a Chevy and call it something, whatever they call it. You have to look at the guts. Find out what you have. And there are simply good chassis and drivetrain manufacturers and ones I wouldn't touch with a pole, with a 10-foot pole. So that's what you have to decide. And I say there are really good, when it comes to the vans, you just look at the makes. My personal opinion on the Bs are Mercedes. I love Mercedes, and the Chevys. I don't know any others that I would buy. I'm sure there are good ones out there. When you said there are dozens of them, no, not when it comes to the train, the drivetrain, and that is going to limit you.
I'd probably get a pickup with one of those campers instead of a Class B.
What about you? Have you ever thought about that, the camper one?
I have, but I like my dogs to ride up with me.
Okay.
Be room then.
Those vans nowadays, I didn't like the old hippie ones. I hated them with the captain chairs and all that. But and the shag rugs, oh God. But I love the new ones. You should look at a Mercedes. I don't know even if they handle them up there at Century. Do they have the Mercedes?
No, they don't do the Class Bs anymore.
Oh, they don't do them at all, you're saying. Are you sure, Mark?
I mean, they might take one in on trade or something.
Oh, I did not know that. Well, then where do we go for it? Where do we send her?
I was just looking. I mean, a lot of them, you buy a Sprinter and someone customizes it.
Yeah, but she doesn't want to do it. She wants to buy something.
I don't know where you buy one.
Yes, that's really what I wanted to do, and I didn't know where to go because I don't want all the bells and whistles and the fancy cabinets and...
Now the Class C is not a B, okay? But it is, I understand, the Class C is the Vanover. You've seen those, right?
Right, correct.
Have you ever considered those?
They're too big.
Okay. They don't seem to be much... Well,
what's your budget?
I can go where I want with my budget.
We know where there's a beautiful Mini Winnie you can pick up dirt cheap.
No, seriously, please look at a Sprinter. I don't know who does them. I don't know who. You just have to Google that, and then before you buy, just run it by us. We'll even have somebody review the contract for you. But you truly need to look at that. There's just nothing finer. And no, they are about 70 grand. They really are beautiful.
Look at the Vegas too. It's actually called the Vegas.
Is that a Sprinter, Mark?
It's technically a Model A, but they're tiny. They're cute as hell.
Oh, what are they called?
A Vegas.
Okay. Okay, that might be cool too. Hey, we can talk about more when we have more time, but we don't. So remember, I say this and I really mean it. 303 Martino anytime and save all your problems for me.
A-Plus Hardwood Floors is having a summer sale with up to 60% off. Hey, it's Susie Wargen. If you're a do-it-yourselfer, they're going to come out to your house, measure your project, help you pick out your floor, rent you free installation equipment, and have a professional install consultant to answer any questions you have.